time I checked, you guys were headed off into the jungle. Is that right?
Did
Oh,
we
really?
make a
I believe
decision?
so.
We were discussing some things, I think.
We were staying overnight at the tavern still.
That's right, and I think we settled on jungle, didn't we?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think I
yeah.
proposed checking out that guy's laboratory.
I remember
But
that.
I got to thinking during the week that the tavern owner, do you trust him?
Yeah. No, but
Not even a little.
I also worry that he could kill us.
Yeah, he's pretty tough, or he seems pretty good with a knife anyway.
Yeah.
If he's so
What's up
good
with
with the
the
knife and
tavern
knows so
people?
much, how could he not know that? What's his name?
Yeah, what is his name?
Whose
A.
name? The innkeeper?
Oh, Alistair.
No, the
Alistair. How could he not know that Alistair
Alistair,
is
yeah.
mage?
If he's good with a knife, that doesn't mean that he can detect magic.
But he seems to know like everything that's going on in the town. So how could he not know this?
Right.
That's
Alistair
true. He
might
does have
keep
a
it
network
under
of
wraps.
elaborate spies.
Lois Lane is the world's greatest reporter and has no idea that Clark Kent is Superman. That's all I'm
Yes,
saying.
he
I
does.
feel like that
Yeah.
makes her the world's worst reporter. I
Yeah.
know Clark Kent is Superman.
Right. Everybody's gonna blind spot somewhere.
Well, but doesn't Superman actually have a magic power that makes it so that
No.
I
Only
I'm
think
pretty sure he does.
during the
I think-
Golden Age, yes, he had super hypnotism, which is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah,
I was
people
gonna
say
say,
that
that
to
sounds
like cover
pretty-
over the whole
But yeah,
glasses disguise.
right, these days the glasses and the hair, I guess, are just that good. Like I really don't know.
No, I think they just couldn't keep going with the stupidity.
Of super
Is all that
hypnotism,
was.
right? The power even so effective he didn't even know he had it. And then when they wanted him to Lois Lane to get together, they had to explain how come she was immune all of a sudden and the whole planet still like when there are people with magic powers running.
So what was the reason?
They didn't come up with one. They just kind of threw it away.
They just binned it.
So I'm guessing the real reason is that once they had sex, she was immune.
You say that like that happened.
Ah,
She must have realized he was
And there you
Superman
have
when
it,
they had
boys and
sex.
girls.
let's talk about homunculus
Right.
last session.
Ridiculous. So
Look, his superpower just doesn't work in the bedroom.
I guess. But
Leave your
once you
powers at the
watch-
door.
Right. Once you watch Superman once you take Clark and his birthday suit, he takes off his business suit, he takes off his undershirt, he takes off his Superman jammies. Right now
It
it's
could
kind
be
of hard.
his Superman jammies because they're always on.
They're always on. Exactly. Right. He's got to take off like 3 layers of clothing to be naked. Right.
God, he must be hot all the
I was
time.
gonna say, can you
Oh.
imagine having a heat wave? Jeez.
And it's like spandex as well.
I
It's
kind of
really
assume that he's
hot.
immune, because that guy goes through buildings and his hair doesn't move, and that ain't fair.
He also likes
That's not fair.
to fly around in space near the sun.
Did
Yeah.
you hear about the Superman stiff gel? It
No.
works.
I think that's epoxy resin.
Epoxy
Nice.
resin. Sorry,
How do
that's
you
it.
cut that guy's hair? I mean, how hard must that be? Give it up for the Kents, right? Because they raised him. That'd be a huge pain in the ass.
Maybe dead Kryptonian cells are not indestructible. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So you guys were deciding whether or not to go into the jungle or go check out the lab.
Jungle sound cool.
I think we decided we were going to check Alistair's lab out on the way to the jungle.
Okay. I mean, you could make a detour into the city and then leave. Oh, yeah.
Sounds good.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
We should
well,
chase
I-
this guy down with some
Health
knowledge of him.
overnight? Do we just heal a little bit overnight anyway, or did I?
If you're in the process, if you sleep in safety, you get 1 hit point back per level. All of you, without any magic or anything.
Okay.
So
that'd be 4
that's
hit
what,
points
4 hit points? Yeah.
Oh, I thought it worked like long rests in 5e.
No.
Oh.
If you're resting in an unsafe place, you get 1 hit point back. That's it. If you're resting in a safe place, you get 1 hit point per level back.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah. Don't lose your hit points. It's bad.
Hmm.
Okay.
I mean, not that bad, right? Since you don't lose any functionality until you run out, which is
Yeah, I guess.
absolutely ridiculous because
I was
I
down
could
at
be
8, so I kind of want to make sure I bumped back up.
All the more reason
Right.
to have a healer on board.
Way to go, Sam. You're way more important than you already were. Way to go.
Yes, we got to keep Sam safe now.
Right. The number one goal of the team safety, keep the healer alive. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, someone flipped the table.
Oh, something, Kale, something you should know. If you go to roll one of your magic spells and you fail, you
Mhm.
lose access to that spell level until you rest. All
Yeah,
spells
I
of that
did
level.
understand that from Jet.
Okay, yeah, that would be very
that's
much
been
bad.
repeated.
I'm very good at that. Yes. Rolling
very good at
ones
rolling a
every time
one.
I cast a spell.
So you
All right,
guys
do
want
you guys want to chat someone up in the bar and find out where Alistair lives?
Sure, but the
Without
innkeep would
letting
have
the-
known that.
What?
Didn't the
I-
innkeep tell us, in fact?
That was the impression I was under, is that he told you where it was. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
Oh.
I thought.
Okay. I don't remember that.
Oh, that's all right.
So, what do you think? What's our sneaky people? A Tyrion there.
the
Sorry, I'm a
sneakiest-
little bit confused too as where we're at right now. Why are
We're in
we?
the
Why don't we
tavern,
trust
I
the
guess, in
tavern
our
keeper?
room, or around a table drinking beer, or
That was my impression. Was
wine,
you
or whatever it is.
We're just
you
having
would,
a good time.
you would kind of woken up from resting and healing, and then you were, drinking the morning away.
First thing in
Sounds
the
like a
morning.
dwarf
Okay.
thing to do.
Well, I mean, you don't have to drink alcohol. I'm sure they've got milk or water or whatever you find at the bar. I really have
No,
no
I'm
idea.
tired. I'll go
Orange
for it.
juice, right? Don't they
No, right? So we get,
Some
we get
vegan alternative.
complimentary bagels and
yeah.
orange juice.
Jeez.
Right, complimentary, right.
Yeah, as I say,
Because if you
compliment
say free,
breakfast.
you sound like a mooch. If you say complimentary, it sounds kind of fun, right?
Well, it sounds like it's included with with the room that you rented.
Right.
Right.
Bed and breakfast, boys. 5-star from what I've heard.
Yeah, the guy with the knife skills gets to see you in bed, as helpless as you could possibly be while you're awake, and drops breakfast in your lap. Yeah,
Yeah, no thanks.
I don't.
Sounds
That's
like
not
a
very
good
comforting.
time.
So, do you want to go and check out the lab?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a thief
Sounds
could
like a
break in
plan.
for us?
Sure.
Oh yeah, we have a thief now.
That you do, yeah.
Now, should we take our horsemanders with us so we can head out from there, or should we come back to get them?
Oh, that sounds good. Let's ride our horsemanders.
Sounds good.
Horsemander?
And
Is this-
since Nathan's out of the game, shall we just
Lizard
give
horses.
to a Tyrion?
Is that
Sounds
like a
good.
lizard horse?
Right. Oh,
Lizard's
so
the size of a horse. Yes.
right. It's a sightless salamander the size of a horse. Right.
Wait, is it sightless?
Sightless.
I thought it's all in the dark.
They have no eyeballs.
Oh my.
No, they have other senses.
Right. They see just fine, but they don't have eyeballs.
What did we
Yeah.
get to protect them from the desert heat when we?
You've got pots of mud. Right.
Okay, all right.
That seems really heavy.
You
Well,
ever
it's
picked up a
Salamander's
5-gallon
job
pail
to
full of
carry
mud?
them.
It is pretty heavy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, why are we carrying around mud? We're going into the desert, right?
Yeah.
But we
Couldn't
can
we-
also throw
Salamander.
Couldn't we
that
just
at-
carry extra water and then use it to make mud on the spot and just bring a bucket?
Good point.
That is
Could
a
do that.
fair point, yeah.
But we
We
wanna put
made
them on
mud out of desert sand, though.
I mean,
I
yeah, it's
Yeah,
works
you can
for
still
a bit,
mold
doesn't
sand.
it?
yeah. Can you make mud out of water and the dirt in the bottom of a fish tank? I mean, it's basically the same thing.
But it
Put
seems
the
like
mud
it
we
would,
have
it's,
on them
it's
before we
so
leave.
fine that it would just dry up pretty quickly and.
We
Yeah,
could also
so-
take them in their own feces.
Ew.
I mean,
I mean that would
That's a
work,
good
but
idea.
ew.
Take them
You
in
pee
his
on
own
them.
feces.
you
That's-
can deal with that
that'd probably be
aspect,
enough.
and we'll
We'll let you do that, Voss.
yeah, you do you. You do you.
He's a hobgoblin. They're weird.
Yeah,
And I
that's
don't
true.
think they have much care for. I can't find the word.
I think the term you're looking for here is that
Self-respect.
he's incredibly practical. Well,
Yeah.
the crap's warm, literally, right? And goopy, literally. Let's just kind of cake, pat, right? And they'll be all set.
Well,
Well,
The
I,
goblin drinking
Okay,
that cactus
okay.
juice.
Now, you said we're not the only ones around here with these horsemanders, right?
No, there are people across the desert with them. Here
So
in the
we
village.
should find out how they travel. I mean, maybe they just put a lot of heavy blankets on them, or we got like an umbrella over us or something.
Right. So you'll.
I like the umbrella idea.
I'm getting
Yeah.
ahead of my own thoughts here. You'll have noticed outside that you'll find the occasional passerby with a horsemander packing them in the mud stuff that the stable boy had outside. There are no horses there, just spaces for the horsemander and big buckets. No one's riding a horse.
So it sounds like this mud thing is what everybody uses.
Yeah.
Right, but I mean, feel free to. I imagine that's because the socially, one doesn't usually bathe in one's own poop. But a hobgoblin probably doesn't care about that because of the society he comes from.
I mean,
look, if it
Yeah, he
works, it
comes
works.
from a rich island. Let's go. Like,
I think we've got a bucket
works,
of
it
the mud.
works.
He's independently wealthy. He cares for nothing, right?
As I said to Jay earlier, you know, the hobgoblin's meat animal that they farm is crickets.
Because
do
you
they
can.
bathe in their own poop?
No, because they're efficient and they get the job done.
Right. Never mind if they taste good. They produce enough protein at the
Right.
best cost. Right.
Right.
The total value gained is the best per dollar spent. Right.
They're
Right,
annoying
right.
as hell when you're trying to go to sleep.
That's why the cricket incubator is far away from the resting hole.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you guys want to wander off to this laboratory? Is that the idea?
Yeah.
Okay.
I jump on Hermes' back and say, "Let's go!"
Onward.
Did we buy saddles for our
For
saddles?
Hermes?
I wasn't under the impression you had saddles so much. but if you-
Barebacking it. Bareback.
Saddle
Right, but
bags.
if you want saddles, you can probably find some here.
Let's get some saddles. I mean, it seems like everybody rides these.
Saddles in the Metal City.
There were not saddles in the Metal City.
We had. I'm sure
Well,
we
what do
had
these
one.
things eat? Like, what are we going to feed them across the desert?
Oh, I have no idea what they eat.
Because this is like, what, a 2
They
week or something?
Double.
Which is not to say that I don't know, just it hasn't come up yet.
Do they eat bugs?
In my experience,
How would you
know?
axolotls and cave
Because the
salamanders.
lizards have too many bugs.
You should know
Well,
what
they
they
eat
eat by now.
bugs.
I would
Have
say
you
they
been
eat
feeding
bugs.
them?
I know, right?
I
So
mean,
Well,
do
they've been tied up outside the stable for the
I
last
was just
couple
saying,
of
does
days.
a dwarf stand in front of a horsemander and see it lick its lips, or am I okay?
Right. So,
I would say they would eat
so
bugs.
Ikael's a druid. I just kind of assumed you'd communicated with them on occasion, right? And
I would say they'd probably eat bugs.
they eat bugs and fungus.
And fungus.
And fungus.
We're not going to find fungus in the desert.
I was
No,
gonna say
but
the
you might
desert
find
is the
bugs.
best place to feed these guys.
We
There
might
are
find some
bugs in the
good-sized
desert,
dung
yes.
beetles.
You get the
Does
occasional.
a scorpion count as a bug? I feel like
Yes.
I feel like it's an
Yeah.
arachnid.
I think
right?
so.
It is an
Yeah, that's
arachnid, but it's
I think-
still
I think
made up of the same
bug-
goop as most bugs.
Bug means
It's arachnids and insects.
Right.
And snails.
Yeah,
Do snails
bugs,
count as bugs? That's. I
bugs
don't know why,
cover
but that bugs me.
snails, crustaceans, arachnids, insects, anything
Anything
that's creepy
crawly.
crawly.
Hang
I
on,
see.
did you say crustaceans?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You reckon
Crabs.
crustaceans are bugs?
Have you ever seen a lobster? That is a cockroach torn
That's a
out of
bug.
the ocean.
Look, if it's not a zombie and it has an int of 0, it's a bug.
That's great. My wife, if it's got more than 4 legs, she's not okay with it, and she's very specific about that. Millipede, Snake, not a big deal.
I own lizards, a spider, a scorpion, a funky thing called a vinegaroon, but I would never ever go near a centipede. That is
Huh.
the one thing. That's millipedes. Yeah, centipedes are like millipedes ask God for more legs. Centipedes stop at the last milestone and went, I want teeth.
Nice.
And venom.
So instead of teeth, let's have
Teeth-
instead of
teeth
a
and
leg, let's
venom.
have teeth.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go.
Sorry
Yeah,
about
let's go.
that. So
Let's
you
get
guys
back to the
wander
game.
off to the laboratory, right? And it doesn't look like much. It's just a brown clapboard ramshackle hut. The only thing that looks remotely impressive about it is through the cracked walls, you can see an awful lot of bright colors in there. A tapestry here, a tapestry there, bright reds and blues through the cracks in the wall.
Like a light or a decoration?
Decoration. The light outside throws enough light you can see through like the slats. The door in the front is pretty well secured. It's a wooden rotten thing, but it's coiled up with lots of rope. There's no windows or anything. Not that that really matters because there's a bunch of cracks in the walls.
So is there any other way to get in besides the door?
You might try the door. There's a chimney on the top that isn't currently burning, but it's definitely there.
Okay.
I'm enticed to be like,
Hermes,
Hermes,
open
throw
the door
me,
from
let's
the
go.
inside.
Say
No,
that
I was gonna
again.
climb up. Hermes
You're
can
gonna
always
climb up?
in. Well, I don't know if he'll fit in the chimney, but he can take someone up there who might fit in the chimney.
Hermes is pretty sure that if he shoves his claws in this thing, he'll just tear the wall down. You're pretty sure it won't hold your weight.
Oh, I'm open for that too. That's the way in.
He's like, I don't care if it holds me up. I want in.
Yeah, I could just grab onto the door and wait.
Is the building made out of wood or
The
stone?
building is made out of wood, yeah. The only remotely secure part of it that looks secure is the door because it's got big, heavy, like half-inch thick rope coils all over it.
In which
Okay.
case, can Hermes just get all fours on the wall next to the door and just like jump, just jiggle up and down, test it for
The jiggling owl bear, everybody. Right, you kind of, right, you kind of shake it, right?
Step right up, step right.
Right. Hermes is, charging money up front, right, to get on the pole, right, and the board just it pops. You guys hear the nails pop out, and Hermes is on the ground like this with a board stuck to his claws.
Good job. Patting him on the head.
Almost immediately, the smell of death fills your nose holes.
Ooh.
Put the wall
Inside
back
the
up.
building, there are at least 2 dead men. You'd have to go inside further. They look dead
Ooh.
recently, like blood is still leaking out of them.
Did I cautiously lead the way? Check for
Ruh-roh.
traps, arrows, anything like that?
Sure. Can you be a tiny bit more specific how you would check for traps?
Watch my step, look around the walls for like dart traps and stuff like that.
Sounds good. You come through the relatively thin walls, the kind of thing that a shed would be made out of. Maybe less impressive. My shed's kind of impressive. Maybe not that impressive. Once you, the guy who bought it from was an arc welder. There's a big 220 bolt in there. The walls are really impressive. But anyway, a regular shed, like the kind of thing you keep garden furniture, garden tools in. You
Like the
walk
same
through
size,
those
too?
walls. There's the carpet is rich and covered in symbols of the moon and stars and that sort of thing. There are the 2 tapestries you saw on the wall that are red and blue, but aside from that are the same picture. The star map looks the same in all 3 places. There are 3 dead men on the floor and a giant heavy writing desk.
And they've been dead for a while.
They've been dead for a while. The blood's still leaking out of them, but so it can't have been that long.
Just recently.
But then how do they smell like they're rotting?
The smell isn't coming from them. Once you get closer to them, you notice that beneath them is a closed trapdoor with those big heavy iron rings. And there's a seam, like a crack, and you're pretty sure that the smell's coming from whatever's in there.
Oh,
Wait, a random question, but are we keeping track of rations?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, don't run out of food.
Is 5 rations a good amount? Like 1 per day? I
One
guess?
ration a day, right.
Okay.
Are we even eating our
What about
rations?
what about the days where
I
we've
assumed
actually,
you
like,
were.
What about the days where we've
Well,
stayed
we've been
at the
eating at
tavern
the
and
inn
had
the
food?
last couple days, right?
Right, and before that, the rich man who died fed you.
Yeah.
I've been just
Before that,
assuming
we
that
were
when
in
we
the-
go
we
back
were
to
in
a
the
tavern, we
Iron City.
refill our rations.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I suppose. For now, anyway. You have enough, let's call them friendly acquaintances. Friends
Okay.
might be a bit strong.
I am carrying 5 rations
Okay.
That's how many I have.
Yeah,
too.
same here.
Same.
Okay.
and 8 supply.
Ooh.
Sorry, what?
8 supply, he says.
Oh, okay. I have about like 10. Is that too much?
No, I don't think so. That's really up to you.
Yeah, it's more a matter of how much you can manage to carry. Supply is your ability to refill your stuff on the fly, which is useful.
Like
Right,
poison
so-
and rations and stuff like that? Or?
Yeah.
Right. So supply is an abstract concept. The idea is that you use your supply to replenish things that you've already used on the adventure without having to go see a vendor to take care of that for you. You
So
kind
could I
of
make arrows?
MacGyver things together.
So
Like
could
your
I use
rations.
it to refill my ammunition? It's like my
Yes,
arrows?
exactly. Right.
Okay.
The only caveat there is that you can't use supply to conjure up equipment you didn't previously have. It's not quantum
Okay, yeah,
gear.
that makes sense. Unless you're like a wizard or something.
Right. Wizards use their supply as spell components, should that come up.
Actually, speaking of supplies, I would like to make sure that one of us has a rope this time. Because I don't remember who was carrying it. It might have been Nathan.
I have copper wire,
Okay.
but it's not rope. I wouldn't be able to hold something up.
Does somebody have rope?
This place, why don't we stop
No.
and supply up?
Yeah, let's pick up some traveling supplies before we leave town.
Yeah, I have 3 stays.
Saddlebags, not saddlebags, at least.
Not saddle, but saddle bags.
Yeah,
What about
bags
cars?
drape over them. I mean, we've been riding them bareback this long.
Yeah, right. Why not?
But
So-
You guys
bags
want to get
draped
some,
over to hang
some
on either
tents?
side.
Tents aren't a bad idea.
I think
Cart to
going
carry our
through the
gear
woods
on,
apart would be a little bit too
In
much.
the desert, maybe. Yeah, desert and jungle.
Say that again.
I think we were just discussing how carts aren't practical in the desert and the jungle.
No,
Well-
they're probably not.
They're practical in the desert, but not so much once we get to the jungle.
Well, there's that,
So
right.
saddlebags
Yeah.
on the horse commanders would be much more practical.
Yeah.
So here you are
Lots of water.
here you are in a ruined laboratory is a bit extreme given what you're currently looking at. What's the plan?
I'm detecting magic.
Okay, like actively, as in you need to roll, or passively?
No, passively.
Okay. You don't pick up a lot, but there's a twinge on the dead men and a twinge below them.
Okay,
So
I'm
what's
gonna
the
go
twinge?
investigate the dead man.
Okay.
Do I know where the twinge is coming from?
Oh, hinge.
There, as you kind of poke at them and flip them over, you find that there's a hole like a vampire bite, except there's only one, in their necks, and it just oozes this magic. Yeah, well, it's just a blue liquid rolling out of their neck, but you know because of your spell that it's definitely magical, whatever it is. And it's definitely what killed them. You can see like through the hole. It's big. It's a quarter inch. You can see into their neck. There's nothing in there. No bone. No nothing.
I want to check the table.
Okay, the writing desk.
Yeah, the writing.
Sure. As you dig through that, you find various leaflets that talk. They're all formula, but none of them are finished. But you do figure out that whoever worked with those writings is trying to figure out how to turn one thing into another thing. There's a couple of ramblings about how size is a problem, and one thing that looks like a successful experiment. He turned a bug into a much smaller bug, but that and there's a bunch of angry cusses after that. That isn't what he wanted to do. There is no mention of what he was trying to do, what the goal was.
I'll show these papers to Ikel and say maybe you want to see this. Maybe it's useful for you.
Okay. Don't know if I have anything to investigate them with.
I don't see why not. I mean, as a zealot, don't you get investigation?
I have no
Check.
idea.
Checking. Yeah, you get history and insight and spellcasting and wilderness creatures and druidic magic. I would go for an insight check, but whatever works for you.
Yeah, I'll do an insight check. What is that? Roll a d20?
A d20 plus your wisdom mod in this case.
$15.
Nice. So you look them over and you're like, well, it looks like alchemy to me, but whoever did this has no real brains for it. And not because they sound inept, just that they don't sound particularly organized. But you do notice there's a message hidden in those, but it's addressed to the individual, to the guy who lived here before, and it makes mention of that he's trying to hook up with Conroy's Condottieri, which is a mercenary service known all over the planet.
I share this information with the group.
Okay, what's with the corpses?
What's with the corpses? They dead.
Mhm. I'm trying to pull some out of the way to
Okay.
look at the
As you kind of push them out of the way, things fall out of their pockets. There's a bag which you're pretty sure has about 20 gold in it, and a dagger that is broken, but the metal has been, something's been done to it, and it's shriveled like a raisin.
I'll take it.
Okay. But Barry, before you ask, it does not smell like magic.
No.
No.
I'm picturing his detect magic. Like, have you guys seen Futurama?
Oh yeah.
Have you guys seen any of the Futurama movies?
I didn't know there were movies.
Oh, there are 4 of them.
Really?
Is it?
Wow.
Jesus.
Okay.
Yeah, they released a bunch of movies when it was off the air, and then it came back on the air, and then they picked it up again as a show and continued from there.
I see.
Anyways, in one of the movies, there's these aliens who can smell anything that has financial value, and they do this with some sort of supernatural seeming organ called a sponger.
I see.
So I'm picturing him doing that, but with magic.
That's fun. Adrian, can you run that question by me again? Rory, you asked me a question in the chat. And I'm not
yeah.
following
So
you. I'm
my
sorry.
dagger says 1d6 plus Dex or Strength modifier,
Yep.
and Dexterity is my proficient ability. So I was wondering if I'll do +3 +2.
+3 +2. What?
Because
Oh no, that's for dexterity checks, not for attack rolls.
Right.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I was like, that's a lot of damage. That's like a guaranteed 5 damage.
No. Yeah. Okay. We're all square now. Oh, good. D6 plus your dex mod.
Okay.
Which is
Or
what,
your
+2?
strength mod, whichever's better.
Right. Or strength, whichever's better. Right. A friend of mine calls those
Yeah,
coordination
Matt's
bonuses.
trying to eat the cords to the TV, so.
Nice. Nice. So you flip the bodies out of the way. One of them, a little sack of gold rolls out of one of their sleeves. When they do that, they're wearing this doublet number that's torn open, and it just kind of flops open. The inside of the doublet is ruined. It's been shredded by something with large claws. But the doublet itself, when it was whole, is really nice. These guys are royalty merchants, something. They were somebody of value. And as soon as you kind of kick them out of the way, the rot smell, because they're not on the seams anymore, fills your noses and hurts your head. Not like
Gross.
damage, just uncomfortable.
Right. Gross.
Gross. Even for hobgoblin growth.
I feel
You
like
say that like he doesn't have any feelings. I'm sure he's got feelings. My understanding is he's trying to murder them, right? But I'm sure he has them. It doesn't work for
Sad that
Spock.
they're already dead.
Look, everyone has feelings. They don't matter.
I see.
I feel like
Very
he's
good.
like just
Martarian, do you want to check the trap door for
That's funny.
I was
traps?
gonna say that.
Yeah.
Check the
That's a
trap,
good
yeah.
idea.
Also, how many arrows do I carry? Like 20, 25, 15, 30?
It is presumed that you burn 1 supply for every fight you engage in.
10 pieces.
In
No,
ammunition.
how many arrows do I have? Because I didn't write that down. It says ammunition.
It just says 1
bundle,
ammunition. That's
10
enough arrows for 1 fight, whether that ends up being 1 or 8.
Oh, okay. So I could just use, like, what if I'm, like, firing arrows the whole time? I could use, like, 30,
That's
40.
still only 1, right?
Okay.
Which sounds great until you go through 1 fight and you fire once, right? And all of a
That's
sudden it feels kind of unfair because last time you fired 9 times and it was still only once. But
So you
the
have
game
to
balances
replenish it?
itself out like that. What?
So you have to replenish it after every fight?
With your supply or through a vendor, assuming yes, that's the idea. That's where your supply comes in. You
Okay.
use that to replace your arrows, among other things. Did I
Right,
send you the PDF?
Yeah, I have the PDF. And one more thing is, how much gold should I be carrying?
Unless you got some from a friend, you don't have any because it doesn't come with character creation.
Did
So why don't
Artian
you
not
pick
get
up
some
that
gold?
bag of gold?
Yeah, we split up a bag of
Yeah.
gold. Each of us got 8 more.
You should have 8.5 gold.
8.5?
Yeah, I was gonna say because we offered you some gold to keep you sweet, even though you didn't really do anything. I think it was to do with the gargoyle fight.
Right.
Right.
Right after you got here.
On page 16 in the PDF, you will find a collection of supply examples.
Oh, all those ones?
Yes, those are examples of what you might replenish with supply and how much that's going to cost in supply.
Wait, like the arming sword, the club, crossbow, dagger.
No. That's on page
It's number 17.
17. I could
Supply
have sworn that
examples
was.
are 17.
Huh. In my book, it's 16. But I don't know. Maybe they render differently on a PDF. Yeah, there's
But
arrows.
it is 16, but like on the PDF it's
Oh,
17.
right.
for
Because
some
the
reason.
PDF scans the
Yeah.
cover as a numbered page. Right. Yeah.
So like
17.
arrows of 1 fight or 10 arrows, and
Right,
that's one
whichever you
supply.
like better. Right. Healing kit, spell components, and so on.
So I also don't have lockpicks. I just have a thief's kit.
I assume that
That would
lockpicks are in the
contain
thief's kit.
lockpicks.
Right.
Actually, I have a
So
spare
I'm
one.
picturing a little, you know, that little plastic box you buy that has drill bits in it that kind of folds in half. I pictured a little thing like that with lockpicks and a tiny pry bar and that kind of thing in it.
How many? So should I say like 10, 15?
Well, lockpicks don't break unless you do something silly with them.
Oh, really?
Unless you roll a
Yeah.
nat one.
My experience with Skyrim tells me I'm going to go
Yeah.
for a rock.
Just don't give
And
the
you know I
skeleton
want
key
this.
back. That's the premise there.
Yeah, right. Lockpicks don't actually break. That's video game nonsense. They wear out, sure, but it takes,
Okay.
if you take care of them and you have a quality step, they don't wear out.
Because right here it says lockpicks, 1 failed check, and then I have to replenish them.
What?
Oh.
Ooh.
Will they break on a fail?
Oh
Sorry?
yeah, if you screw up, if you roll a 1 while you're using a tool, that tool breaks. But
Oh,
aside from
okay.
that, yeah, a quality set of lockpicks doesn't wear out. They wear out like a coat hanger wears out. I mean, I guess eventually. So here you are with this big plate set into the floor. It's metal. It's got a big metal ring welded onto the side of it. And were you gonna scope that thing for traps?
Yeah, I'll do that. And I'll just feel it
How-
out.
How are you gonna do that? Which is to say, do you touch it?
No, I was gonna. I
No.
was gonna look around it for some.
Okay.
Well, as you asked.
Going to, and
You
then the
asked,
DM
no.
asks.
Like things you never want the builder to ask you. Who's standing in front? Do you touch it? Right? Things like that. So as you kind of eyeball this thing and you kind of walk around the edge of it, you see inside there's a little tiny, you wouldn't have even seen it if you hadn't gotten pretty close. There's a really thin wire. There's definitely a trap underneath the lid.
Can I attempt to disarm it?
Yeah, go for it.
All right.
I'm gonna
You're
stand
pretty
back.
sure, as somebody who's done things in the past, all you would have to do is cut it, the wire.
Okay.
But
And I'm
if,
assuming I have snips in my thieves kit.
one assumes, right, that you have a little, very
Okay.
thin, very narrow scissors.
Right.
Um,
All right. And do I use my dexterity modifier for that? Or
Oh no, you just do it. I mean, it's not
roll
like the trap can get the drop on you, right? So
I
you
got
snip
that.
the wire and you hear this thud sound as whatever was attached to the back of it. You hear it go. You ever see something really heavy land on something really cushy? There's that kind of thud. You hear that after a couple of seconds. So the drop's probably pretty deep.
Okay. Can I attempt to open it, or is it locked?
Sure.
Locked.
Yeah. No, it's not locked. You just pull up on the metal ring. The whole thing, the whole plate kind of comes out, like the hinges are rotted away, and you just pry this thing off. You
Okay.
flop it on the floor next to the 3 dead men. There's a set of stairs cut into the side of what looks like a stone chute. And there's light coming from the bottom, which is probably a good 50 or 60 feet down. The hole
Oh.
is wide enough for you to go down one at a time, but not any wider than that. You're not sure Hermes can fit.
Oh,
What was that magic I was sensing earlier from behind the door?
The magic is more intense now. As soon as he moved the plate, the magic fills your nostrils.
All right.
I'm going for
It is of magical value.
Did Kale work out what that guy was doing when he turned that one bug into a smaller bug?
Did you work that out?
I think all we could figure out was that it was alchemy, but he was not
Right.
very.
Specifically the realm of transmutation. Somebody was trying to turn a bug into something that was not a bug.
I assumed that much. I was wondering if Kale could replicate it.
Oh, do you want to give that a shot? I mean, you need a bug.
No, I meant shrink Hermes down
Oh.
to
Ooh.
fit in
Hermes
holes.
is a smaller Hermes.
I
Right.
think we should leave the magic to Jit, and I just heal you if Jit messes up.
That sounds fine.
Ask for Jit. Maybe he'll do it.
Right, Jit, do you want to try and turn Hermes into a small bug? I mean, a smaller Hermes?
I don't want to
I
change
don't know. I
shape,
kind of
just
like
size.
Hermes the way he is.
And watch for the innkeeper if he comes back.
He makes for, yeah, right. He makes for a large, Hermes is a walking, talking door jam. What more do you need?
Reduced person?
I imagine Santa Claus trying to get in a chimney is how this is going to go with Hermes.
More like a cartoon character when they get stuck halfway down.
That's it, and they're like,
Exactly.
You're going to need somebody to push you from below or hit you from above, right? One of the
Or
two.
you could just stay up here and keep a lookout.
You could do that, yeah?
yeah, okay.
Or maybe
Going
someone
down.
else and
Jason, did you
be
say
good
you're going
guard.
down? Okay.
I'll go down.
I'm going down too.
Yes.
Say that again.
I said small enclosed space, yes?
Yes.
I'll
The
go
tunnel
down
is
as well.
anyway.
All right.
Who's
Would you-
first?
I'm going to make sure that I'm going down there with my sword drawn.
Okay.
I got my
Jason,
Warhammer
you're
ready.
doing the same. Yes, weapon at the ready.
Yes, with
Okay.
two-
I got my dagger out.
Okay. So who's
You
going
make
down?
it.
Everybody except
Who's going
Hermes?
first?
Well, if
I
it's
assume
noisy,
it's on-
then I would try and go first, see if I could stealth down it, maybe.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and make a roll for that.
Okay. I have a feeling he's in there. 6 plus 5, 11.
Okay. So you kind of gonna press yourself into the side of the ladder and kind of shimmy your way down. That thing in these Assassin's Creed games where you just slide right, and you somehow don't get a splinter ever.
Yeah.
You hit the bottom quietly. You turn around and you see an old crone of a man who has got two beakers in each hand, like the classic scene from Frankenstein, right? He's shaking them and he's very upset. One of them sets off a little minor explosion. He goes like the ow, right? And he throws it and grabs another one off the desk. There's got to be 50 or 60 of them in front of him. But the big thing to see is right behind him, which is to say between him and you, are two men that look just like the ones from upstairs with big holes in their neck. The blue liquid has dried on their necks, and they're moving around in these big cages. They're scratching and they're swiping their arms out of the cages. They look like wild animals.
Is the man aware of me?
He's definitely aware of them, but he's not paying them any
Aware?
mind.
Is he aware of the rogue?
Does he
Of
see
you
me?
guys, no. Of those two men, definitely. He's not aware of the rogue, no.
Okay.
Jason lands behind you, yeah? Jason, you wanted to go down too?
Yeah, I can
Okay.
also go stealth because I have advantage to stealth.
You have advantage to stealth?
Yeah.
Oh, right, because you're a ranger.
Yeah, that's
right,
a ranger thing. Yeah.
Yeah, roll for that. Go for it.
I don't think I took. Oh, I did take that.
20.
Anyone who
Not-
wants to
not
stealth.
natural. 20.
Nice.
Oh,
So,
I'll be right back, guys.
so he's like a shadow with a sword. Poof. He makes it to the bottom. He's pretty sure that even Ardian lost track of him for a second, even though you're less than an inch from each other. Right, very impressive, right? Who else is going down? Everybody?
Me.
Does it
I'm
just
gonna
you?
Go down last.
Okay. Does anybody else want to make a stealth roll?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
Also, while these guys are coming down, since I was the first one down, can I take out my bow while everyone else is coming down?
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. And I have an arrow in it,
Okay.
ready.
I rolled a 14 on my stealth.
Nice.
I don't have any stealth type stuff, do I?
No. So, but here's how I planned on doing that. There are 7 of you. If at least half of you make the stealth check, call it a group check, so that not everybody has to roll. And that's not really fair, because if you're traveling as a group and 6 of you make it and the 7th doesn't, he ruins it for all of you, and that's not fair.
Yeah.
So if more than half the group makes the check, you're good. Which I think
just failed the check.
it's a good thing I said that before you failed. Huh?
Back off, he's going to explode.
Right. So Jit kind of bubbles his way down the stairs, and he's about to like sneeze or something, and your son goes, "Hey, up!" and he puts his hand over his mouth like
But hard.
The zombie-looking creatures notice all of you, but they don't seem to react any differently. They're blah, blah, right. They turn towards you and shove their hands through the bars closer to you. But the mage, who is obsessed with whatever it is he's doing, doesn't. He goes, shut up back there, and he keeps playing with his beakers.
Is this mage the innkeep, or is he someone different?
Oh yeah, he's not the innkeep. You've never seen him before. Jit, the magic you're picking up doesn't come from the beakers. It comes from those two men in cages. Hermes, you're upstairs, yeah?
I am. Do I hear any of this sound from below?
Oh yeah. As soon as you hear the first bah, the three men on the ground in front of you stand up.
Oh shit!
I'm gonna draw my great axe.
Okay.
But I'm gonna stand opposite the hole to them.
Okay. So
And
they would
I'm
need to
gonna
go through you to get to it.
They would need to go through the hole to get to me.
I see. Okay. Okay. And they kind of, and they stand up straight. And as soon as they look at you, their necks kind of jerk, like somebody who, in the movies when the neck is broken, right? Yeah. Right. That kind of sideways thing. Their jaw slides. A couple of the teeth, when they click, just fall out. And this nasty black gunk rolls out of their eye sockets where their eyes should be.
Beautiful.
The ones below also look like that. Artian, you were there first. What do you do?
I have my bow drawn, and I let someone else go ahead of me. I don't want to be the first one to engage.
I'm here first, and I pass the buck. Right?
But I do change my weapon and put an arrow in the quiver and draw it slightly.
Okay. Okay.
Jason likes to fight anyway.
Right, Jason, you're up next. Now what?
Yeah, I'm next. So I'm going towards to the guys which are walking.
Okay.
Working.
You're going to advance towards the mage guy? The guy with the beakers?
Yeah.
Okay. He's probably, I don't know, less than 15 feet from you.
Talk to him or just
you can maintain your stealth advantage if you want.
Yeah, I'll go on stealth.
Can I reach out my hand and put it on his Gassan's shoulder and say, wait?
Okay.
I have a plan.
Okay.
Maybe it's a good plan. Maybe not, but I have a plan.
With that question mark. Yes.
Okay, I'm whispering to you. Let's question him.
That's what I wanted to do.
Okay.
Question him with a sword, right?
No, not with a sword.
All right, don't cut his head off.
I think we call that intimidation.
Stealthy ones sneak up on him and grab him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So
just so we're clear, you want Artian to run up there and like bear hug this guy?
Yeah. Is it a one-person task or a two-person task?
Well, Jason.
It's an owlbear task.
Yeah, except the owlbear is upstairs.
17.
So, 17 to what? Grapple him?
Stealth.
Okay. Oh, you didn't have to roll again. You're good. Nothing's changed. You're still, stealth.
So I'll grab him.
Sure, yeah. So you lean forward and you grab this guy, and he's a little old thing. You're pretty sure you hear a shoulder bone crack as you just scoop him up off the ground. And he's the two beakers in his hand, right? He immediately drops them, and they explode in this massive, dark, icky cloud. You should make a dex check.
Dex.
Everybody or just?
Oh, just him. The
7.
blast. 7?
Yeah.
Oh.
So there's a crack of what looks like black lightning. As
Sorry
you take,
about that, guys. I'm back.
sounds good. You take 8 damage as black lightning punches into your chest. You fly backwards about 4 feet, and the puff of smoke, the mage has vanished. But there is the 2 big creatures to worry about. As he vanishes, the bars of their cages slide down, and they click into the bottom, and these 2 things lunge towards Artian, who is closest beyond Jason. They ignore him. Before I get back to that, Hermes, you're under attack by 3 what looks like black rotted zombie folk. Now what?
Okay. So
they don't look very smart. The first one steps over the hole, but only because his leg length allows him to do that. He didn't pay it any heed.
Can Hermes just jab him backwards back into that hole?
Sure. Just kind of poke him.
But I'm still at the bottom of the hole because I haven't moved.
That's true,
He either
right?
lands on you or misses you, and you all notice.
Right. So you just want to jab him with your claw?
Protect the healer, he says.
Yeah. First I'm like,
Smush her with a zombie, he
Next I'm like,
says.
well, let's just kill her. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
So, where am I in this combat?
I assumed you had gone down with everybody else. Yes.
Okay.
Use a reaction to jump in
Yep,
front
I was
of
falling behind
Archie
everybody
to-
else.
Okay. So
like,
everybody
barge
is in
with
the
the
bottom of the
zombies.
pit. The pit is about 15 feet long. There was a mage at the end of it. Jason went to bear hug him. He did that successfully. Mage got away. 2
Okay.
zombies pop free. So you've got Jason at the 15-foot, like the edge by the desk covered in beakers.
Yep.
Between Jason and where the rest of you are 2 big cages that have each dumped out this weird zombie-looking monster. They're
Okay.
approaching Artian because he's the closest, and they didn't turn to get Jason, which separates him a little bit from everybody else. There's enough space for him to get back to you, but there is 2 walkers between you. Hermes is up top, and he is about to roll to see if he can punch a zombie into a hole, which will land on everybody that hasn't taken their move action yet.
Is that going to be I'm going to add my strength to that?
Definitely.
How did the zombies get out of the hole?
Well, there are the
I don't
two
think
that
I
were dead
managed.
above.
Right.
Oh,
that's-
those were dead up top. Okay.
Right.
So just to be clear, who is not within 15 feet of me?
Nobody.
Just
see.
Hermes, because Hermes is.
Oh, right. Hermes is up top. Right. So he's like 50 feet away. Right. It's a big
by
drop.
the way,
That's a
Hermes'
big-
Okay.
roll totals to a 4.
Jesus.
Hermes' total roll is a 4.
Yeah.
That's a-
Ouch. Because even with advantage, that wouldn't have fixed anything.
Oh, wait, do I have any kind of advantage?
Oh, yeah, I meant to say that you did. Right. This thing's basically a mindless drone. It's not going to get out of the way or anything.
That was a 5.
Oh,
Much better.
shit, no.
So
you go to-
I need to put these dice in the
Jesus.
dice jail.
So you go to jab this thing, right? And you do poke it, but it doesn't move. You're like, oh, my
Go,
claw's
go.
broken. Right. And when you
Ruh-roh.
poke into this thing, you sink into it like putty,
Oh,
and your claw's stuck in this thing as it swings its whole body down on you and does this L bend with its entire torso and kind of slams into you with it. And it
Okay.
breaks on you. Half of it just falls off. And there's this black, ucky half a torso and face on the floor. And the other half of it is still stuck to your arm, but you didn't.
Well, that's pleasant.
That's beautiful.
someone's gonna need a bath.
Hermes doesn't
But
need a
I have to go
bath.
take my dog out because she's whining. But before I go, I give Providence to Artian because the zombies down below are coming towards him.
You
So I'm
bet.
guessing he's gonna attack next.
You bet.
And I move out of the way of the hole.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Ardian, what do you do?
So everyone's down in the hole.
Everyone
Hermes.
except Hermes, right, who's 50 feet above you.
Okay, and everyone is
50
behind me.
And you hear the sounds of battle with him too, right? No,
then
everyone is
I'm
around
you.
you except Jason, who's 15 feet in front of you, and there are
Right.
2 zombie creatures between you and him.
Okay. I guess I'll just fire my first arrow then. I'll try
Sure.
and.
Sure.
Don't forget your
Yeah, right. Jason's like, hey, watch it with that thing.
1 second. Okay.
You know that's a weapon. Like you could hit your friend.
Wait. Are we not supposed to kill these things?
Oh no, if you miss, you risk hitting Jason.
Oh.
Because arrows in a tight hallway.
Right.
Yeah, because that works.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Can I take that back and try and kick it? Sparta
Because I
kick it
didn't
and
say
just-
that
Not and kick
before
it,
you-
yeah?
Yeah, sure.
Right.
I didn't spit that out first. That's not fair. Yeah, go for it.
5 plus 2.
For your kicking?
Yeah, 7.
Okay. So very much like Hermes, you thrust out the leg and you hit this thing, and your leg gets stuck in it.
Oh
And
my
now,
god.
now you're kind of like, so you're standing on your left leg, your right leg is stuck in the chest cavity of this zombie creature, and you can't pull it back out. You look both comical and like you're in trouble.
Oh, I should have just shot it.
Jit, what are you doing?
Well, I was gonna cast a spell, but now that Arterian is stuck in the zombie,
Cast grease.
Never mind all that. Cast fireball. I mean,
No. Cast grease, and then he'll be able to pull his leg out.
And grease is flammable, so cast grease and then fireball.
There you go.
Plus, it's a laboratory. Might be some more flammable stuff.
Yeah,
in there.
right? Ooh, yeah, good idea. One action leads you to the next one, right?
Domino effect.
What are you doing anyway?
In this case, I guess I'm going to not fire my bow either, because now I have a chance of hitting 2 guys.
Or more.
These things are undead, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, they stink of undeath and rot. But not to confuse with
And I
death
did
and
not
rot.
pick the turn undead first level spell. It's the one I didn't pick.
No.
You see this face?
Jesus.
No.
Jeez.
What kind of zealot are you?
Um,
Can't turn the undead.
so where is Arterian's foot stuck?
He is stuck in the just below, like the solar plexus, the lowest part of the chest cavity,
Okay. Like right under the rib cage.
right under the rib cage,
Organs.
right
Nasty.
where this thing's stomach would be. You're not sure it has one, but that's where your foot is, just about.
Does
You see
anything
him
come out?
hopping.
Yeah, when you
Okay,
kicked into
I'm
it, this
gonna
black
yell
stuff.
a warning to
Oh, boy.
Arterian to hold on.
What?
Hold on.
Hold on.
Uh,
Going to cast Gust of Force.
Oh,
oh God, that's a second level spell.
Is there anything to grab onto around me? Any like
The zombie
nozzle?
and the
I'm
cage,
hoping you
yeah.
guys are all gonna go
Grab the
flying
cage.
backwards, and you're gonna get untangled that way.
I duck
I
for
could
cover.
just see him launching the undead into next one.
So yeah, make your roll and
So
don't
I
screw
do
that one
the
up.
old slice across my hand and whip the blood, and let's roll something good. Yes, finally, 17.
Nice.
Didn't blow myself up.
Do I have to roll to
Blood
grab
into
the
Or
Just
cage?
anyone
Zod's
else.
face.
It's cramped quarters. That very much could have happened.
So
I'm glad you didn't blow me up.
this might affect Gassan too, because it's a cone shape, 15 feet.
Right. The spell
You're knocked,
specifically
10
says
feet
enemies.
back and prone.
Right. Believe it or not, the spell specifically states enemies in 15 feet.
Yay!
Right. Clever writing by the authors, right?
Wait, so is it like a gust of wind?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Would it knock
So-
over all the beakers and stuff?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
So
God,
you,
no.
the wind, the blood whips off the side of your hand, right, and comes to life in this big, kind of sickly red cloud, and whips the zombie off of your foot, 15 feet back. It flies right past Jazan, crashes into the desk. Many beakers break, nothing explodes, and the creature picks its
Good.
kind of unsticks itself like some sort of overgrown tar monster. Like it pops off the side of the desk. Most of its back is missing, and it's stuck on the desk where you're looking at a black spine with like just drippings of goo, and it kind of lumbers back your direction.
So is that both of them or just one of them?
Oh, both of them. They've
Both of
smashed into each other. What you've got left is one slightly smaller walker.
So they're both down by Jason now.
You're right. Just before we get back to him, Adarian hasn't had his turn yet.
Yeah.
Or Ikael, I don't think. Or Boss.
No.
Adarian, what are you doing?
What's my movement? 30. Can I run towards one of the walkers and just pull out my warhammer and just bash him right across the face?
Sure.
And hope to God it kills it. And that is a 4.
Ooh. So you run past
Deceptive
Jazan with this awfully confident look on your face that was misplaced as you swing the hammer and it goes through the desk. You split the desk like a knife through butter, right? It clank, right? It splits. Beakers and such gather in the middle of the crack, and you miss the creature entirely.
Oh.
But you don't
sorry,
hurt
guys.
yourself or anything.
Oh, sorry then.
Voss, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm gonna run up to the nearest one,
Okay.
and I am going to stab it with my sword. And if my sword gets stuck, or actually, even if my sword doesn't get stuck, then I'm gonna bash it in the face with my shield.
Okay.
If the sword gets stuck, I'm gonna bash it in the face with my shield, hoping that gets my sword out.
I see. Okay. Little like the cartoon with you're trying to pry the door open. Right.
Sword in the stone.
All right. Rolling dice.
Okay.
Hey, that's pretty good. All right,
Oh,
so
yeah?
one of the dice, I got a 19 plus 4.
Nice. So your sword, you thrust forward and puncture this thing in its black gooey neck, and this what looks like molten tar sprays out the back of it and hits the wall above the desk.
Perfect.
Roll for damage.
I got an 8 for damage.
Nice. You cleave right through this thing. You pull the sword back out. You leave a big goopy hole, and it starts to fill back in with goo. The creature lets out this shrieking noise. What's your second hit?
16 plus 4.
Nice. Same thing. Do you want to bash it with the shield, or since you still have your sword?
The second one's the shield. Yeah.
Okay. And you just kind of concuss his face with the shield. He thrusts backwards, and he kind of hits the side of the desk in such a way that his top torso slides onto it, and his legs don't. They just kind of fall and disintegrate into this ucky pile of slime on the floor.
Nice. And that one was 8 for damage.
Nice.
I don't know how much damage I needed to do to kill it because you just described to death anyways.
Right. None. Right. Ikale, what are you doing?
I figured maybe he had 1 hit point left or something. I did more than 1.
Right. If you hit him, he's dead. Ikale, what are you doing?
Is the one Voss just hit incapacitated enough to condemn?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, then I will. Is the other one in a position to condemn or no?
The other one has fallen apart when they crashed into each other. There's only one left. That and the 3 up top with Hermes.
Okay.
A condemn is a leveled
condemn
spell,
the one
isn't
that
it?
Voss just attacked.
Condemn is a leveled spell, yes?
Yes.
Okay, so you want to roll, add your wisdom modifier, and beat, let's see, in this case, condemn is a level 1 spell, so you want to beat an 11. It's 10 plus the level of the spell.
Okay.
You should know up front that
I got a 13.
Awesome. So you reach out with your druidic magical juju powers, right? And you just kind of snuff out its life force like a candle. The what little glow there is behind the black ucky stuff in his eye sockets goes out, and the body just kind of slumps onto the 2 halves of a broken table and starts to disintegrate. You still hear Hermes up top engaging with combat with these things. Speaking of that, Hermes, what are you doing?
Right. Can I see my hand? Has
Yes.
it gone all the way through?
Not all the way. No, you're in it. You can't see your hand like coming out the back. You can't feel air. You're in this thing.
But can I see my hand enough to get my great axe handle into it?
No, your hand is pretty buried in this thing. You're up to like your forearm, 4 owly arm.
Can I push it further so that it comes out and then grab my great axe?
Ew. Yeah, make a strength check for that.
Wear him like a handbag.
Yeah. like the creepiest bangle you've ever seen. Just
That's a soft 20.
nice. So you muscle up right and you pop out the side of this thing. So now your hand is coming out about where its spine should be, free for a hand axe.
And is that my action, or can I grab my great
Let's call that a quick action. If you want to, shove your axe in your hand and then attack. I don't know. How are you going to attack this thing? Like just kind of one of these?
I wasn't going to attack this one. This one's okay.
Oh, right. Okay.
He's just going to come with me.
I see. He's a hostage, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to go for his friend.
It's kind of an intense human shield you've got there.
That's got to give him an armor bonus, right?
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
like
You've
plus
got
2.
Yeah, you're wider than you are tall. If you were human proportions, you would have full cover. Let's say you have half instead.
Okay.
It's also disadvantage.
Yeah, right. So what are you doing with this axe?
I want to
Swing at one of his
friends. I'm aiming for a decapitate.
Okay.
That's a 13 plus 2. That's 15.
Nice. Do you have multi-attack?
I think I've got counterattack.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Counterattack.
That's right.
2 times per battle. Yeah.
Right. That's right. So counterattack, you do on somebody else's turn. You know that, right?
Oh, I should have done that earlier.
You can choose to essentially punch back. It's like blue cards in Magic. I hate that color. Ugh.
I don't play Magic, but I did want to get into it.
It's fun. I'm a red kind of guy. Pure
Blue is the
burn.
best color.
Last time
Nonsense.
I played it was like 2014.
It doesn't surprise me at all that Alex thinks that and he's wrong. Red's the way to go. He's absolutely wrong.
Denied.
I will die on that hill. Burn is the way to go. Don't get me wrong. If somebody else has protection from red, you're gonna lose. Period. Like you.
No, see, the way to go is you run stacks and you make it so the other guy doesn't get to play any cards.
That's not any fun. You want the other guy to be able to play. You just want to be able to shut him down when he does.
Here's the fifth.
Oh, with counterspell.
Yes, right, which is a blue card, right. The only counter I own, I think the only press ever of a red counterspell card that only works on blue cards because they're the devil. So you swing your axe at this thing, you catch it in the neck with enough force that it slops into its friend, and they stumble sideways onto the floor. You have advantage on your next attacks against it as it stumbles to pick itself up, and you cleave the head right off the one you're attacking behind with your ucky, disgusting handbag between you and it.
Cool. I didn't roll for damage, mind.
Oh, it doesn't matter. They're basically they're like one hit whacks.
That's okay. As long as I'm honest and you know, that's fine.
Right. Jason, you've just watched these things kind of erode in front of you. What now?
So there's nothing left for me, yeah?
There's no combat left down here, no. But you do hear Hermes upstairs scuttling around with who knows what.
Okay. So I am then looking around.
Okay. You don't see anything, other than the broken desk and the two cages. The bars, they didn't pop off or anything. They shrank. They slid into little holes in the front, which is not something you see every day. The cages themselves don't look very impressive. They're a cage. There's not like a bed or anything in there. There's not even a bucket. It's not like a prison cell. It's even more uncomfortable than that. Underneath the desk, underneath the devastation of the desk. Poor desk. Its parents are going to be so sad.
I'm sorry, okay? I'm sorry.
Right, you need to make that phone call to its parents. You understand? When you look underneath, you're going to see this seam underneath all the broken beakers. What looks like another trap door. No ring this time. You're not really sure how to open it.
I'm showing it to Archie.
Okay.
I inspect it.
Okay.
Is there anything notable about it?
You move the beakers and stuff out of the way. As you do that, you come up with 3 beakers that are whole, and each of them has this really sweet smelling green liquid in it. They've got corks on top. They're whole and they're sealed, and you're pretty sure they're like watertight. The seam itself, you only see 3. There should and it runs flush with the wall, but you don't see any hinges or anything. The seam itself is pretty tight. You don't get any air or light coming through it. You don't see how you would open it.
I tell Jet to come check out the bottles, and I see can you pry it open? The trap door.
Do you want to try that? How would you go about that?
I'm not gonna try it, but would it be possible?
Probably, right? If you got something thin tucked between the edges, probably.
Could I check for traps first? Or actually, first I'll take a listen, then I'll check for traps.
Oh, look at you all paranoid. Okay, so you put your ear to the side of this thing, and you hear what sounds like the trickle of like very shallow but quickly moving water, like a stream there's a stream just after it's rained a lot and it's much bigger than it normally is. That kind of rushing sound.
Okay. Do I have to roll for that? No, obviously not.
No.
Roll for trap though. Check for traps.
Sure, go for it.
14 plus 5.
Okay, you sniff around this thing and you poke at it, and you're confident that there's no way there could be a trap here because there's not enough space for there to be one that can get to you. The seam's pretty tight. If it wasn't for your really good hearing, you wouldn't have heard the water underneath anyway.
All right. Is there anything I could wedge it up with? Like any strips of metal around, like a hinge on the desk or something?
You don't see any pry bars or bands of metal or anything on the desk. You'd have to get something from somewhere else or brought your own tools.
Like a sword, maybe? But
we're talking like you ever see a cracked base that has a hairline fracture in it? That kind of thin line. Like if you're not sure you could wedge anything in there that wasn't really, really thin. Like the
Okay.
difference between a laptop screwdriver and a regular screwdriver. A regular screwdriver, it's just not going to happen.
Even the dagger.
What was
Now, when
that?
you say a regular screwdriver is not going to happen, what about a knife?
That might work.
I have a dagger.
That might work. Yeah, some daggers are pretty thin.
Is it your new dagger that's shriveled up?
No,
Like-
I have 2 daggers.
Like a great metal prune. Right.
Yeah,
want me
one
to fix
I
your new
got today.
What was that, Ikale? Did you
I
say you
can
want to?
reforge the new dagger.
Oh, that's right, because you took the Mendy spell instead of
Yes.
the Bendy undead spell. Right.
Oh no, because the bendy is, or the mendy is a cantrip.
Right. And you just kind
The
of
undead is a spell.
right.
Oh, I wish that was me playing. I have such a creative idea for that. I say such a creative idea. I feel like I'm giving myself too much credit. But
Probably Michael.
I don't know about that. Don't undersell yourself. So the remaining walker is still up there. Do you want to like finish it off? Call for help? What's the plan?
I want to finish it off. I'm taking the credit for this. Can I sort of like try and smash him through the wall and like out of the building so that it's public?
Sure. Yeah. Don't forget to make your, let's call it your strength smashy roll, right? Your bar tussle roll at advantage.
So yeah, I'm gonna spin my great axe in my hands and catch it so that the flat face is gonna hit towards the zombie.
Batter up.
As it hits,
right.
all you hear is a gong. Bong!
Exactly, yeah.
I just had this picture of El Kabong. Remember him, the donkey with the guitar? Wow.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That was a 16.
Nice. So you just home run this thing. Whap! And it flies through the air and it hits one of the boards, smashes clean through it. The remainder of the board spins around like in a cartoon and it lands in the dirt outside. You hear a couple of people freak out and you see a couple of heads wrap around the side of the building and then go like this. I don't see nothing, and they leave.
Nice.
Why am I worried now that the building has like 2 walls knocked down and it's just being held up by 2 other walls?
I don't think I've broken down entire walls. I don't.
No, big chunks of
okay.
a wall, right?
Yeah, there's holes in walls, but there's not like. I
They're
don't feel like
windows
that's.
now.
I was just like,
Right,
we're gonna
right.
be caved in at this point.
Structural.
Forceful windows. It's like in the action movie when they're like, "There's no door," and Rambo goes, "I'm gonna make a door." Right. Ardian, you gave 3 little vials full of green icky stuff to Jit, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Jit, do you want to look those over?
Yeah, am I sensing any magic?
No, but they do. You can smell them through the cork. They give you this heady euphoria sense, but they don't smell like magic. They just, whatever they are, they're really potent.
Can I'll open one and I'll have a little bit more of a smell.
Okay. As soon as you uncork it, the smell fills your whole head and chest cavity. In the same way that it's really hard to breathe. You ever be so tired that it's hard. It feels like it's harder for you to breathe.
Yeah.
That coupled with a really heady sense of happiness and euphoria.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, give me a whiff of
Happy drugs.
Happy drugs.
Give me a little huff of that, right?
Okay, I'll cork that up and I'll put them away and I'll just say magic stuff.
You fib.
Best leave in the hands of the mage or the warlock.
I think that would be you, right? So here you are, left alone by a guy who seems to have vanished in a puff of smoke. Two empty cages, 5 dead things, 3 up top, 2 down here, and a trapdoor that looks awfully tight.
I was going to ask, what is the score with my writhing purse?
With your what?
My
Writhing
slimy zombie guy.
Oh, it's kind of gone limp. It's just kind of hanging off
So
of you.
it's no longer writhing. Okay.
No, it's no longer writhing. It's not dead though. It's weird.
just
You don't
given up.
see. It looks like it would be breathing, but the pulsing is all wrong.
Okay, I think I'll keep him.
I'm gonna name him Jeff.
In a session yesterday, one of the guys became a were-hippo, and he got bit by another like were-hippo named Bubby, and now they're friends.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ah,
Don't look at me like that. You ever
So
seen a
cute.
hippo? Those things are terrifying.
I have. I feel like everyone's well in their rights to be scared of them.
Right. I was like, werewolves are boring. Let's do something. What's more intimidating than a wolf?
I feel like a hippo could do
Alligator.
more damage. than
What's
a
more
wolf.
intimidating than an alligator? A crocodile. What's more intimidating than a crocodile? A hippo, because they kick the crap out of them year round.
Hippos do. Yeah.
Like
Things-
royally
Things
ass
are
whooping.
scary as hell.
So stop
definitely-
bullying me.
I'm definitely team reptile, but I wouldn't put money on the crocodile.
Going on a safari. Here you can see the mighty crocodile. Oh shit! Here comes a hippo.
Right. Cover your eyes, kids. Right. So here you are looking at this trap door with a very fine seam in it. Do you want to try and figure out a way to open it?
Yes.
Okay. With your dagger, the old one, or the new kind of gross one?
The old one.
Okay. So you find a space that you're pretty sure you can just kind of, right? You tap the side of the dagger and you squeeze it in there. And
Yeah, like that.
You pry it
That
up
was it.
without too much difficulty. The stone plate is a couple feet thick. It's really heavy. You'll need your friend's help to get it open.
Can I take a running barge at it?
Say again?
I'd
That's the
like
back end
run
of a
at it and
dagger.
just try and barge it open.
Okay. Yeah, so Jason, through a Herculean bit of strength, heaves this whole thing up, and you just kind of ram it and pop it the rest of the way open. And you're looking down on what looks like a sewer tunnel. It's got chiseled stone right in a big semicircle. There's this green lighting coming from in the water, and you're looking at a channel that's probably 1.5 feet thick. You can see the bottom. There's what looks like a light bulb, except it runs on forever down the tunnel. The whole tunnel is probably only 7 feet high.
Am I sensing
Oh.
any magic?
None.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I want to say we'll go, but I don't want to go first. I reckon
I'll go
Tian
first.
should go first for the traps, just in
I'm
case.
always the first. I'll go first.
Jason drops down into the space. It's a little drop. The majority of the tunnel was filled by the giant stone plate. Once you get in there, you look down and you see what looks like it might be urine. And it's definitely fresh.
Sorry, did you say urine?
I did say urine, yes.
Okay.
As
Oh,
in- as in
yeah, I'm not going down
Ooh.
there. I'll wait here.
the liquid kind of excrement, right?
Send the hobgoblin down.
Yeah, he loves this shit.
In new place.
What was that, Jason?
We found him new place.
Nice.
Oh,
You home, yeah.
Oh, thanks.
Right, like, what are you guys trying to say exactly anyway?
just kidding.
Just because I'm willing to do it to get the job done doesn't mean that's what I want to do for fun.
The whole team, are you guys going in the tunnel, going back up? You still haven't seen Hermes' new accoutrement.
Bearing in mind, Hermes can't join you
Right.
unless there is something
Tunnel
Hermes
full
could
of
do.
urine. I don't know why I'd want to go in there.
Yeah,
It looks
called
like a
down.
tunnel that goes on for a while. You'd have to drop into it to see how far. But there looks like what's a light bulb, like a fluorescent, those long ones. The people keep in there.
I shouted to my party that there's a tunnel.
Alright, I'll go down.
Okay. As soon as you hit the bottom, it's only like 4 feet. There's not even a ladder or anything. Once you move that giant stone disc, you just kind of drop in there. The smell of magic comes over you for a second. It's the same smell that the mage gave off right before he disappeared.
Alright.
Oh, that was not a clean mage.
Right. It smells dirty. Right.
No, it's probably the whole city sewer system.
When you land, right, that's what you're looking at. You're looking at what is clearly a sewer system.
Alright, I let Gassan know that the mage is down here. Maybe.
We have to interrogate him.
Are we
Yes.
standing in water?
So there's water in the middle, but there's also 2 little like sidewalks of stone on either side of it.
Okay. And you said there's a light source.
Right. In the base of the water, there's what looks like a cylinder with
Okay.
little segments in it. They're long tubes of light set into the stone in the bottom.
How well can we see?
Pretty
How
well.
can we see?
You wouldn't need a torch or anything. You can see pretty well. Through the water, the light throws weird, because the water's got a little tinge of green in it. It throws these weird green shadows all over the walls, but you can see fine.
Can we go in 2 directions?
Definitely. If you go down another 10 feet, you see that there are 2 tunnels facing each other that go left and right. And you can see beyond that, down the tunnel, several more. You're pretty sure without a map or something, you can get lost down here. It looks like there's a lot of options.
Okay, well, I'll
As
take my
I am a ranger. I know. I
You
didn't
can the lead.
Okay. How are you guys going to get Hermes
Are
down
you
here?
going first?
I mean, you can ditch him, but if you want to bring him with you, how are you going to do
Thanks,
that?
guys. I
He's
was
on guard
wondering.
duty.
He's on guard duty. He'll be fine.
If they're making a mess.
Yeah.
He's having fun, yeah.
I don't want to get blamed for that. Right. Oh, owlbear? No,
Yeah,
I've never seen one of
5
those.
minutes of fame.
Say that again?
He had his 5 minutes of fame.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You went viral. Calm down. Right.
Just how small is this hole in relation to Hermes?
You probably need 1.5 feet on both sides in order to squeeze your way through there.
Oh, so I can't just right. Okay.
I mean, you could probably smash your way through, but we're talking effort. That's
That's gonna be major effort. Yeah.
Just blow it up with one of our holy hand grenades.
I don't think anyone. I think people saw it as a bad decision to give Hermes one of those.
I completely forgot I gave those to you.
Well, I lost mine. I blew myself up with it.
Oh yeah.
But
Archon have.
Haas and Arterian have one. Artian.
Indeed.
That is, so do we have any ideas on how we want to get Hermes down here, or are we going to just leave him up there?
Well, that's
I'm
what
not
we're
sure.
We're
discussing.
talking about using one of those little crystals that was
The
a bomb.
explodey balls? Yeah, you could try that.
There doesn't happen to be any goblins around, does there? Aside from the hobgoblin.
Oh yeah, you get a little crew of workers.
Yeah, right. Little, get them little mining helmets and send them away. You do not see any goblins zipping around in the streets.
Damn
You
it.
do see people go by and they give the blown out building a wide berth, but they don't look perturbed or anything. For what looks like major demolition, unscheduled demolition, and untraditional demolition, nobody seems to give a crap. They just stay away from the blown out stuff.
Idea.
What's that?
How far away am I from the tavern?
Oh, a block or so.
I was wondering if I could recruit some rat catchers.
Maybe. So let me get this straight.
I got
You are
gold.
a talking owl bear
Uh-huh.
who is not so good with the speaky, and you're gonna go to an inn, conjure up a couple of guys that may or may not be on your team.
The
Convince
tavern
him.
keep, who is the leader, likes me, I think. He
Okay.
certainly acts like he does.
Okay.
But we're breaking
So-
into his buddy's, his best pal's house.
Oh, yeah. Probably not a good idea to lead him here.
There's that, but I mean, you did catch somebody else in his buddy's house, so maybe you have leverage, maybe you don't.
I think I'll leave that one. I think that's going to end bad.
Okay.
Not only that, I'm meant to be on guard duty.
Bomb ball thingamajigs.
One of those what of all
Little
things?
crystals that would blow up.
You want to huck one of those? I mean, okay.
Are you going to let me know? You're going to tell me about this plan?
Right.
Well-
Usually people say look out below, but in this case, I guess it's hey, look out above you. Right. You're gonna hurl one up at the. How is that gonna work?
It's not mine. It would have to be one of the guys. I don't have one. I have a Healy one.
I don't feel inspired to use explosives in the enclosed tunnel.
Yeah, that's another good
Checks.
call.
This feels like a bad plan.
I mean, I can start
Maybe,
digging.
one person could join Gassan and I, and we can wander off.
Okay.
I can start digging, but like I say, it depends on how long that's going to take.
Yeah, that could take a while.
Right.
Hmm.
Jason, did you want to go in the sewer and look for the guy? You have tracking for that. I mean, you're a ranger.
Is there another way to get into the sewer?
Hold up to find another entrance.
I mean, if these sewers look like they go on for a while and in various directions, I'm sure there's access on the surface. There's got to be.
Okay, so
Well, tell you what, I'll have a look around this place while
I'll
I'm.
go back.
Okay.
I'll go back and tell Hermes we need him to find another entrance into the sewer,
Okay.
and make lots of noise and we'll find him.
Maybe we can find from the sewer the entrance.
Okay. So, Voss runs up and tells Hermes that he needs to go find sewer access.
Okay.
Hermes, you're an owl bear. Do you know what a sewer is?
What sewer?
Have you like delivered to somebody's skeevy under sewer lair at some point?
Unless, like, a particular wizard that we are learning about now could be one of those people. Probably not.
Sewers, tunnels under the city that they use to get rid of poop.
Okay.
Like it's a poo tunnel, right?
Poop tunnel.
Highway.
Okay.
Okay. I guess my best action would be to find this tavern keep that likes me so much,
Mm-hmm.
and
ask him
ask him where the big poop tunnel door is.
Okay. So in the meantime, do you guys want to go in the sewer? Are any of you traveling with Hermes?
I'll go with Hermes.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll
I
go
don't know
with
if
it.
you're going to trust him to handle this on his own.
Oh, I figure he could handle the talking part on his own. I'm just thinking once he gets into the sewer, you don't want him to be on his own and get attacked.
Right. Okay.
I do agree with you. However, us two as a team are more likely to be attacked by people.
No, it'll be fine. They know us.
He's
Well, I
a
can go with
hobgoblin.
Since I
You're
have,
gonna go with them?
I have the charisma to
Right.
move things over.
So let me get this straight. We've got a zealot, a hobgoblin, and an owl bear walking into a bar. That is the greatest joke I have ever heard.
To say,
I see no problems with this plan.
And Jason, Artian, Adarian, and Jit, you guys are going in the sewer?
Yeah.
I
Okay.
guess so.
Let's do you first. Jason, you're leading the pack, I assume, since you're always first. What's the
Yeah.
plan?
What's the plan? So maybe Jit can sense where the magic is higher.
You're pretty sure that you can track the mage through his, let's call them, spooked releases. Yeah.
So we are heading that way.
Okay. So
I
you-
am heading. I don't know how.
Right. So you guys watch Jason kind of like a bloodhound, right? Get the scent and zip around the first corner to the left.
Yep.
Do you follow him?
I do, yeah.
Okay. All these tunnels look the same. There's a track in the middle with a light bulb in it, some water, what are basically stone sidewalks on either side, right? Jason takes a left and then a right and then a left and then another right. And you guys are in this big space. And Jason, you hear a lot of chittering, like mechanical clanking noises. And you're looking at a tunnel that's probably 30 feet long. And at the very edge of your sight in the tunnel, you see these they look like cats almost, except they're much larger than they should be, like the size of a great hound. And they're definitely made out of metal. And they're batting around what looks like a mechanical mouse.
Those are big cats.
And they're not sleeping like
I say not being there.
Yeah,
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Before we get, when you see them, one of them turns around, sees you. It's got its eyes look like snake eyes, except they've got mechanical eyelids. They kind of snap back and forth. Upon seeing you, they turn red and they go, and metal plates rise off the back of it to simulate what cats do when they're really freaked out. Before I ask you what you do, Hermes, Voss, and Ikael, you guys find the innkeeper.
Oh, good.
And you guys explain. Hermes starts with his poo tunnel routine, right? He doesn't really go for that. He seems very confused.
Oh, he's got this. I'm just going to let him do his thing.
Okay.
Yeah. Where's
Hermes,
big
how do you-
poop tunnel door? Where's
And he kinda
the
looks at you
big
and goes-
poop tunnel?
He looks and goes, poop tunnel.
We need to get it. We need an access entrance to the sewers.
Is there back door?
Oh.
Poop tunnel?
I mean, there is, right? Like, there's got to be, you wouldn't have a poop tunnel. Synonyms, man. Synonyms.
Oh no, phrasing.
He goes, poop tunnel, sewer. Yeah, that's a fair assessment. Atta boy. And he throws you a cracker, right? And he says, yeah. And he points to, remember where he threw the man out the window?
Yep.
And he goes, go around back, go around the front, the big bushes in the front. There's a sewer access there, right where I threw that guy before. How do you think I got rid of him?
Fair enough. Okie doke. Thank you.
Sometimes patrons get really, really, how do we say, sloshed, and they don't want to walk very far, and I don't want them to walk very far.
Gross.
So you guys go outside, you sweep away the mulch, and there's what is basically a sewer grate. It's square instead of round, but aside from that, it's the same thing. And you there's a button and a release, and you shove it into the slot, and there are stairs, and you go down. Do you want to close it above you?
Yes.
Okay.
Hang on.
Sure.
I feel like maybe not.
Okay.
That's our only source of daylight right now.
That's very true.
But there are lights in the
Right.
there are lights in the
Oh, there
tunnel.
were lights, weren't there?
Right. The sewer has its own light, but you are technically correct in that it's your only source of daylight.
Mm.
We don't
But there is-
necessarily need people following us.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The leader of the rat catchers knows where we are.
Right.
Like,
You're either very safe or very screwed. Right.
Yeah.
So-
Let's close it after us. If anything, is there anything? It's just a set of stairs, isn't it?
It's a
okay.
set of riveted metal stairs. They're gross and clammy and wet, but there's nothing special about them.
Me with my climbing boots doesn't slide.
You're right.
I
You
get to the bottom, I like
bottom.
wipe the slime onto my jerkin off my hands.
Ew. Better than on your hands, I guess.
Yes.
I like
as you guys get to the
my
bottom,
arm friend.
right? Your creepy, gross arm friend. As you get to the bottom, you
Let
hear.
the arm friend go. You're still wearing him.
Yeah, I kind of assumed he was keeping him.
Yeah, I am. Absolutely.
I mean, he's got half cover, right? As long as he goes like this.
Yeah, there's an entity in the way.
Yeah. Super gross. So as you get to the bottom, you're not really, there are enough tunnels here, you're not really sure which one it came from, but you hear a very mechanized kind of tinny cat hiss. Like an Apple II, freaked was a cat.
Modem noises. Got it.
Right.
All right. Well, we head in that direction.
I'm not going to be in front.
Yeah, who is going in front anyway? Hermes
I
or
don't mind
Boss?
going in front.
Okay. I mean, you're not really going in front, are you? Your gooey friends are going in front.
Yeah, but not like in a way like he's going in front and he's guarding me, but unintentionally. I'm like just sort of walking around like, hey, buddy, what's up?
Like a creepy, muddy puppet. Ugh. So,
Every
just
time I
on, you
jiggle him,
see
his
this
jaw
cat
jiggles.
creature eyeball you, right?
So does he continue to have half cover forever now?
Until that thing gets torn apart, you bet.
Oh.
Just on, so you get the drop on this thing. You're close enough that you could, close the distance and engage it in martial combat if you wanted. That you don't have to. That's just you have enough space to do that. What do you do?
Before that, as we walk through the tunnels, I marked with my dagger on my. I marked my arrows.
Oh, good call. Okay. So you've left a fairly obvious trail with arrows. Now what?
Yeah.
You're looking at this mechanized cat.
Yeah, so I see. Cats. Well, I don't want to rush. I'll just take my. I don't care. I'll take my warbow and take ready my warbow.
Get ready, but not shoot.
Not sure.
Okay. Who else is with you? Adarian, Artian, and Jit, right? You guys see the same thing. You Jason took off like a crazed animal, so you guys had to struggle to keep pace with him. So you're a couple of steps behind him, but you see the same thing he sees.
Sorry, I just got back. What do we see?
Just so you guys are in a sewer tunnel. Jason is looking at what looks like a mechanized cat the size of a greyhound.
Okay, I remember that.
He has left dig marks in the walls with arrows with his dagger as you guys sort through the sewer system. He's left
Is
a,
there
a bread trail, basically, which is much better than actual breadcrumbs in a forest because things are bound to eat those. That story's dumb in that particular regard. Anyway,
is there
Basically,
any light in this
all you
cave?
missed was we found a way into the sewers and we can hear where you guys are.
pretty much, yeah, yeah.
Is there-
Go ahead, Adarian.
Is there any light in this cave?
Yes, there's what looks like glowing cylinders set into the water channel in the middle.
And that's beneath us, right?
Yes, they about 1.5 feet in the water. You can see the bottom. The channel's not very deep.
Could I? Right, this is really far fetched. I'm hoping this works.
Okay.
So I've got a glass lens, right?
Okay.
So I'm hoping, can I shine it so it can make like a white light, and then the cat can try and chase it off?
You can tell you've just moved in with a cat.
That is
literally
absolutely
it's killing me.
ridiculous, and I'm all for it. So you absolutely can, whether or not the cat goes for it or not, make a, what are you going to call that, a charisma save, because you're trying to charm a mechanic.
Yeah.
Oh, sure, yeah.
That is, oh fuck's sake, that's a natural one. Fuck's sake.
So you do manage to make this happen, and the cat goes for it, but you kind of move your hand the wrong way. You lose track of how you're supposed to refract the mirror, and you draw the cat towards you, right?
Shit.
And the cat sees you, and and you watch it scamper, run onto one of the walls sideways, leave little dig marks in the side of it, and leap off at you.
Oh shit. Okay.
And it rolls a natural 1 and face plants into the water, freaks out like the cat that it's
Can I
supposed to be.
counterattack it?
Absolutely. As it flies by, like, go ahead and wing the thing. Right.
I'm just saying that was a smart idea, but it didn't fucking work.
That was very cool.
That was a good
But
idea.
if I'll shoot, I can hit and also Adarian, yeah?
Yeah, you're not gonna roll the hit. You're just gonna hit the thing. I kind of looked at counterattack like counters in the Disgaea video game. You don't roll the hit or anything. You trade punches.
So I'm all standing with the bow, so I'll shoot it.
Right. Roll for damage, and you'll plug this thing with an arrow as it flies by and attempts to get to Adarian.
8.
Nice. So you plunge an arrow into this thing as it flies by. You bury it into its mechanical haunches. Plates pop off, and you're looking at what looks like a glowing glass tube inside of it that pulses with light. As the now damaged servo cat thing flies through the air, misses Adarian, face plants into one of those light bulbs in the floor. It explodes. It causes a minor chain reaction. The 2 light bulbs on either side also pop, and you're thrown into much less light.
Ooh.
I'm going to cast Illuminate.
Oh, excellent, because that's not a leveled spell.
Right.
So your which hand lights up? Does it matter to you?
I guess I'll go with my left hand.
Okay. Do you have a preference on what color that light is? Is it red because you're creepy?
How about like a bluish?
Okay, sure. Like a Luke Skywalker glow, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you throw off that other IP Sun Sword, I meant lightsaber blue glow out of your left hand, and that conflicts with the mild green light, and you guys get this really interesting painting, this kind of montage of color on the walls. When you do that, there's a little crackle in the air. Nothing explodes or anything, but you're pretty sure you're in a magical rich area, which is weird in that you can't sense it or anything. Where the little mechanical mouse is, I guess it's behind Jason now because he would have kind of spun around to shoot the cat. It scurries into a little tiny hole in the wall, and right next to it, like it darts in, like in the cartoons where the little mouse runs into the hole in the wall in the baseboard, and he's gone. And you guys see what looks like a little tiny of dust. There's air coming through that wall and not just in that hole. the tunnel goes on for another ways.
So our little group hasn't met up with them yet, correct?
No, but I was going to ask you if you wanted to go look for them. Before, the sounds would have made it difficult for you to find them because echoes, but they've caused a minor.
We were trying to follow the sounds of the cats to find them.
Right.
Yeah, we were totally up for that.
Through the increased sound output and the popping and the shift in light, you find them without too much difficulty, and you rejoin them right as Jason watches that mouse vanish into the side of the sewer wall.
Okay.
Where are we in relation to the cats and the party?
About 10 feet away from them, maybe 15.
Behind the cats?
Behind the cat that's crammed itself into the wall, into the light bulb. Right. When it does that, it collides with it. There's a kind of an electrostatic hum in the air, and its little kitty robotic head explodes. The whole plates pop off. What you're left with is what looks like a mason jar in size, glass. It's not an oval, a 3D representation of an oval with what looks like a pulsing green brick in it.
I want to investigate the cat.
Okay. All you've got left that isn't just little broken cogs and springs is what looks like a green ingot wrapped in a glass bubble it has a little crack on one end of it. It pulses with magic in a really big, heavy way.
All right, I'm gonna detect magic with the roll.
Okay.
Let's hope I roll something good. No. Let's see, to save my life. 18 on the die.
Nice. So as you inspect this thing, your brain crackles with a certain degree of energy. Your eyes turn green for a second. I don't know if the guys see that or not. As you kind of zen in with this thing, it's a battery. It'll power large machines for a seemingly indefinite amount of time. You'll need special training or somebody who already has said special training to install it, because it doesn't look like there's any kind of like positive, negative. It doesn't look obvious how to insert it into a thing, but you know it's a power source that's very powerful.
Okay. I'll put that in my pocket.
Okay. It doesn't weigh very much.
He's just collecting all of the magical doodads.
He can't help himself.
Jit doesn't by any chance have any lightning spells, does he?
I actually don't know. Jet, do you have any lightning spells?
Out of character? Yeah, I got the Eye of the Magi.
Okay.
The Magi.
I'd imagine that little power source there might buff you up a bit.
Right, you could use. I hadn't considered it like that, but you could use it to power yourself. Yeah, you do have that ring too.
Yeah.
Right.
Would that ring have had an effect on the gust of wind?
Yes, except I forgot about it. It would have doubled the impact and the range.
All right. And I guess it's making my light illuminate more.
Yes, it would throw twice as far.
I got like a super blue flashlight going.
Nice.
I don't know. What do you guys want to do?
So the cat.
Anything valuable along my journey so far? Our journey?
Not so far. I mean, you're a rogue, right? So you've seen a couple of, dungeons and locked areas in the past. Usually walls do not give off air unless there's something behind them.
Oh, is there air coming?
So where there were the little what looks like a gizmo mouse zipped in a misplaced brick in the sewer wall, but you feel air coming off of it because you're watching dust be blown away.
Can I feel around for like trapdoors or something like that?
Sure, yeah. You don't come up with any traps, but there's definitely a seam there, and the mortar and stucco isn't very good. You're pretty sure with one good push you could just kind of push this portion of the wall over. Say that again?
Maybe you hear me, so yeah.
Yeah, right. He's the wrecking ball, right?
He likes breaking walls.
Hermes loves breaking walls.
Do that a lot.
What was that? They're accusing you of liking and destruction.
That may be true.
A little.
Little bit.
Just a,
Hermes, king of the goblins.
I can't wait to come across a goblin horde.
So what's the plan? You've got a tunnel. You initially had a jungle adventure to go on. There's a
This
tunnel.
hasn't gone to plan at all.
We're getting there.
There's a tunnel
Why
in
don't
front
we
of you.
just, plow through this wall, weapons drawn, and our way in.
Okay,
I
who's
was actually
doing the
gonna
plowing?
listening, but I guess that works too.
All right, well, we can listen first.
That's a bit paranoid. We seem pretty tough.
So, do you want to listen at the door first?
Why not? Why not?
Okay. You hear a lot of you know what a crowd on TV sounds like, where there's lots of people and they're all talking, but none of it makes any sense because they're all
Yeah.
drowning each other out. That, except the voices are much smaller, like less boisterous. And I don't mean children. They sound a little. The language doesn't sound like English to you. There's a lot of.
Do I understand them?
You know it's adjacent to your language, but not the same.
Okay.
Which is to say, they might be goblins.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
Can
Most
they hear
dialogue
me?
goblins.
They cannot. They might be able to hear you if you spoke through the wall. Yeah.
Can I like peep through the hole?
No,
that the
what
mouse
does it
went
sound like
through?
they're saying? Can I make out any words?
You're pretty sure that you're catching a couple of words that make sense. It's a broken language, both because you don't share the exact same one, and because their comprehension of their language does not appear to be very good. They have their broken grammar as well. Very Hermes-y of them.
I see.
But you do catch up, that you do understand the gist of what they're getting at. They're lost, and they lost in two ways. They're lost where they are on the map, and you're sure they've forgotten why they're here in the first place. Like they've lost their reasoning.
Oh,
That's okay.
Hear at
Hermes
least
is about
6
to give a
voices
new
back there.
reasoning.
I was gonna say, I think we should send Hermes and Voss in first.
So can Hermes peep through the hole that the mouse went in? Like, I mean, not that he saw where the mouse went, but I'm assuming there is.
You
some
can
sort
find a
of
little hole down there, but I mean, you're talking like you just be an eyeball, right?
Yeah, but would he be able to see through it? Is the point.
Just barely, right? Yeah, you could. Yeah,
So can we try that?
sure. You poke your eye in there, and you see 6 gray, bendy-backed, knife-eared looking things that you're pretty sure are goblins. They have what looks like weapons, only they're kind of ramshackle, like they're rusted and jagged. There's 2 small sticks roped to each other with a bit of metal on the end. It's a spear, but just barely. One of them has somebody else's broken sword they're now using as a dagger. All 6 of them are 5 of them are naked. One of them has what looks like a very stained and used loincloth. But aside from that, they're basically all naked. And they're just standing in a circle arguing with one another. And behind them is this giant golden statue. It's got to be 9 feet high and 5 feet across.
Okay.
Hermes, what do you see?
Little pointy, you
Oh,
small.
I
You
can handle this.
So how does my little goblin crown work for the sake of mechanics? Do they need to see it?
No, they just need to see it or hear you.
Right. Okay. So I'm
Does he know what it does yet?
I don't know if your character knows what it does yet. I don't see why you would. Did I give you visions or something?
You did.
Yeah,
you told
you
me
did.
that
Okay.
I saw. Yeah, I saw
Oh,
goblins.
yes. Then
coming
yes,
around
you
me
know
and
how
the
it
group
works.
expanded.
They need to
Coolio.
see it or hear you, or both.
Cool. Well, I suppose for now, making them see this through a mouse-sized hole is going to be quite hard. So I'm just gonna sort of do a little owl.
The 6 goblins immediately turn around and
The video cut out on me for about 30 seconds.
okay. Hermes has decided to do his best
Make weird
owl
barn
cry
owl sounds at
into
them.
the hole. The goblins turn around and they go like this. right? They kind of lose their minds. They don't know where that came from.
I say, you, take wall down, nicely.
And they all kind of look at each other, right? And they're like, and then you watch their eyes go dim, like their eyeballs almost close, like when you're really tired and your eyelids are heavy. And they decide to, they march towards the wall almost like drones, like their wet feet slopping in the water, right? And they look at the wall and they're not really sure what to do. The one with the spear pokes it. The one with clothing has what looks like a damaged short sword. The other three are unarmed, and he kind of motions at the one with the spear, and the one with the spear kind of motions at the one with the sword, and then they both motion at the other three, and they push on it, and on your guys' side you see dust and old stucco fall out of it, and the bricks flake down, and in a little bit of pile of ick and dirt, you're looking at 6 goblins who look very, very confused.
Okay, so Hermes go, you, mine. I
They-
take you.
They gather around you, and 2 of them, the one with the 2 with weapons, attempt to climb on top of you.
Oh, naked
That's,
goblins.
that's cool. I'll allow that.
You will allow naked
like-
goblins to climb on top of you.
I'm
Well,
so
only
tempted
one
to
of them
pull
is
him off
naked.
and say,
Hermes
no,
has
that's
got-
my right.
Hermes is like
Okay,
elbow
Goblin.
deep in an undead zombie with intestines hanging down the rest of his hand. I mean,
Ew.
I don't think he cares if a naked goblin climbs at him.
But the goblins, one of the goblins kind of curls his lip at the idea of the black ucky thing, but they don't like argue about it or anything.
So they speak to me perfectly fine, right?
Yeah, they kind of chitter at you and talk at you. You don't speak goblin though, so you're not really sure what they're saying.
Oh, so they don't speak common. Okay.
If they
so I
do,
can't-
they're not doing it at this time. No.
Okay. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna say, what big shiny man?
Now, the goblins look at you and they see your claw reach out and they immediately snap in that direction. And you're pretty sure they didn't understand what you said, but they got the gist of it. And they point at the, like looking for confirmation. They point at the giant idol.
I just nod my head and go,
Okay. They kind of chitter around and boss, are you there? Can you hear us?
I think he
he
cut
did,
out.
he did send a message saying he kept on cutting out.
Yeah, I saw that. So if he gets, I can't. Oh, boss, you're muted for some reason.
Can you hear me?
I can now. Yeah.
There
Got
you go.
you.
Okay, yeah, for some reason my internet on my Chromebook died, but it worked on my phone still, so I don't know what happened.
No worries. Did you hear any of that?
No, I lost the last, 3 or 4 minutes while I was trying to tech support my computer.
Okay.
Of course, we have a translator.
Hermes has 6 goblin buddies.
Okay.
The two with weapons are sitting on top of him, and he has motioned to the giant golden idol, and they have essentially gisted out of him that that's the confirmation. And they've
Do I understand them, more or less? I mean, is
more
it
or
just...
less. They've started yammering on about how they have no idea what it is, but that most humans find that yellow stuff of value.
Gotcha. But they're speaking like broken goblin?
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
You understand them in the same way that the average person understands Hermes, which is to say
Right.
well enough, but you
Well enough to get the gist of it.
right.
Okay. So I'm gonna sort of point at it and say, "You take, bring with."
They look at you and their eyes get really big and they start to laugh. And they chitter amongst themselves, and Voss catches them talking about how that's ridiculous. It's incredibly heavy.
They say it's too heavy.
I help. You help me.
They look at Voss. They've now recognized that you're translating for them to some extent, and one of them addresses you and pulls on you. I imagine you're kind of a shaggy creature. Yeah, they pull on.
Yeah, I'm a big furry brown goblin looking thing. Yes.
Okay,
Kinda like
they
a
pull on
bugbear.
the shag on the back of your the back of your hand, right? They pull on that. The one with the loincloth goes, "I'm Thuck, the leader of the tribe. We can't move that.
He wants you to help him move that.
I understood that. it's way
Okay.
too heavy. Look, and he kind of points at his. He does one of these, right? He goes, "I am strongest of my tribe, still not strong enough." And he bends what kind of look like pipe cleaners in an attempt to look strong.
Okay, all right. They don't think they're going to be any help carrying anything heavy.
Okay. We break?
I mean, you can, yeah. Gold's pretty soft.
It's a
Gold
soft
is pretty
metal.
soft.
Forge it.
Real
Like,
life Mike gets that. Hermes
But we
Mike
don't
just,
have
like,
we don't really have like hammers or anything to break it down that wouldn't ruin our equipment.
I held to the cord.
I feel
What's
like logically gold wouldn't scratch steel too much.
Not so much. You could
'Cause it's
you could
softer.
ruin the gold with minimal difficulty,
Okay.
assuming that it's pure gold, which you're pretty sure it is. Is anybody here like got a skill for that?
There is a dwarf in our party.
There is a dwarf in the party.
Yeah,
Okay.
I don't know what check that would be though.
Dwarves are particularly good with
yeah.
rocks, isn't they? And minerals.
Like I've got a smith's kit, so I don't know if there'd be
Yeah,
anything in there to test. Like,
Let's extrapolate out of that means you understand materials. You can
Okay.
just kind of size this thing up. You're pretty sure that's real, 100%, kind of like soft as a grapefruit gold.
okay. So I let the group know that it's pretty soft gold. It looks genuine.
Oh, good.
It's a 9-foot high statue of what is clearly somebody who is either a mage or is attempting very much to look like one. Big robes that multiple folds. They could be a holy man, they could be a mage, you're not really sure. But you don't see a holy symbol or anything like that. Their arms are outstretched like this, and they look like, you've seen some magic users cast some spells in the past. They look like that's what's happening. It looks like a mage locked in the middle of casting the spell.
Is he biting his hand or like trying to drip blood on something? Or
No, he doesn't look
He
like
really-
Jit's magic, if that's what you're getting at. He doesn't look like a blood-obsessed creep, no. Though closer inspection, you do see what looks like little prints of like lightning.
So then how can we know he's a mage?
Yeah, we don't know any other
You
magic.
don't know that he's a mage. You do know he's somebody who's dressed in robes and has like lightning stamped brocade set into them.
Okay.
You
Well,
don't technically though, you don't know he's a mage. Could be a holy man, could be a guy who likes big puffy clothes. Who knows?
Okay.
Okay, well in particular I want his head.
Okay,
Just because if this is Alistair, I want to be able to show him his head
I see.
with no body attached.
You want to go hit this thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the neck.
When you get close to this thing, as Hermes closes the distance, Jit, you are overwhelmed with a huge sense of magic coming from the statue.
All right. Well,
You should give us a warning. Before we do
once I start cutting myself, then you know something's up. So I reach the old knife,
Okay.
cut my hand open, and I want to reach out and I want to touch it,
Okay.
and then
Best
roll.
player ever. He just said, "I want to touch it." Okay.
and then I'm
like
rolling.
to touch faith.
Let's see what's gonna happen. 12.
Nice.
Close.
Very close, but you
Lower.
you-
The numbers are getting lower.
You reach out and you kind of touch the side of the statue, and a jolt of energy blows you back a couple of inches. You don't lose your footing or anything, but there's a surge of energy as you fly back a couple of inches. And you're confident that that's not a statue, that's a person who's had something done to them.
Ooh, I understand.
Like a person
9
who's
foot tall.
probably still alive, just in this new state they're in.
Yeah, he's 9 foot tall.
There's
Yeah,
that.
why is he-
And I went to the washroom.
outfit,
So
he looks like
is this like a gold statue of a wizard-looking person?
That's a good summation. Yes. What was
So,
that,
yeah.
Ikale?
he could be the nameless one that is no longer with us.
Yeah.
Oh no, we don't recognize this guy, do we?
You do not recognize him.
We haven't asked that.
But you can, and you don't recognize him.
Did the goblins know anything about spelled this?
The goblins don't know what it is.
All right.
The goblins don't really understand that it's gold, just that it's a yellow substance that humans tend to care about.
What are the goblins doing there, anyways? Did you guys figure that out?
Tourists.
They're
Yeah,
lost.
They're
lost and
tourists,
they've lost
right?
their purpose in life.
They've lost their purpose and where they are, right?
So now they serve me.
That's a pretty accurate summation.
My gobos, not your gobos, my gobos.
Yes, I have a party all on my own now.
Okay, I'm gonna whisper mind the statue.
Okay, cool beans.
More.
Be
What
right
are you
back.
What are you shoving into his brain?
Is there anybody in there?
I feel like it's a tiny bit invasive, right? Like I'm gonna shove my thoughts into your brain. I hope you're okay with that. But in order for me to check, I'm just gonna have to do it, right? It's kind
This
of like
isn't
how,
rape. Relax.
yeah, right. It's kind of how a dog figures out if something is food or not. It puts it in its mouth. So you reach into there. Do you really want to say, is there anybody in there?
Yeah.
Okay. There's a strong voice that bellows back into your brain, and he goes, "Free me, and I will assist you."
Who are you?
Knew you'd have a name. Like I have a name written down. I swear. Give me a second.
Him.
So it's not Alistair.
It's not Alistair. No.
Ah,
He goes, "I am Garland, the mightiest mage I have ever met."
What's your name?
Garland, Garland.
Mightiest what wizard he's ever met.
That's what he said. Mightiest mage
Yeah.
he's ever met.
that's a bit vain.
It's egotistical more than anything.
Never met another
Well,
mage.
Maybe he's only ever met one other mage.
Right.
Yeah, maybe.
Can you blame a guy for trying to look powerful? I mean, he looks awfully powerless right now. Right.
I was gonna say,
Gotta
like,
fluff
you
the
can
myth
try,
a
but
little
he's not
bit.
gonna.
Just trying to sell himself as useful so that we let him out.
Yeah, right.
I was gonna say a mage put him in this situation, so obviously he's not the most powerful.
Or he got his spells wrong.
Or
and,
the other
like,
guy
they
got a nat
backfired
20 and he got a 1.
Yeah.
Who knows?
Okay, I ask him, how did you get in this situation?
I don't want to talk about it. Get me out of this thing.
There's not by any chance anything around the statue, like lead, for instance.
No.
No?
The statue is on a thin stone pedestal, but it's
Like a Hero Ford miniature.
Jesus Christ.
A very large Hero Forge miniature. Miniature is not the word, but
No, there's no good, like, Maxiture.
right. The mighty mini, right?
Jesus.
So, if you're not going to answer my questions, I don't think I'm going to be helping you.
Well, no, hold on. Get me out of this thing.
Well,
Hermy
we'll talk
starts
about
walking
that
up
when
to
we
him
start
with his
answering
great
my
axe, like,
What was that, Jit?
sorry.
We'll talk about that when you start answering my questions.
All right, fine. If you'll get me out of this thing. I was trying to turn, you see all the stones around you? I was trying to turn them into metal, and something went wrong, and I turned me into gold. Now, would you please get me out of this thing?
We could
Why
use
were
that
you
much
down
gold.
here?
That's a lot of gold.
What was that, Jit?
Why are you down here?
Mostly for the privacy.
All right.
Right. And how are we supposed to help you?
I mean, if
That's a
you're
very
talking-
good question.
If you're talking into my mind, I assume you have magic powers.
Yeah, but I'm not a great wizard like you are.
Oh.
Oh, don't fill his ego. Jesus Christ.
Hey, you can't hear me.
Fair point, but still.
Whisper
I
mind me.
was wondering if you were speaking out loud, and then I, like, sort
He
of
goes,
whisper and mind. So, no.
when you say not like you are, he bellows. He goes, well, of course you're not. Right. He goes,
Oh, so now even less reason to help him.
I mean, see what I mean?
You know
Made of
of
su-
a wizard named Alistair. I hear he's a very powerful wizard.
Alistair is a charlatan and a fake, but yes, I'm familiar with him.
What do you mean he's a charlatan and a fake?
Ooh.
Alistair is all talk and parlor tricks. Nonsense. I'm
What
a
about
real
that old
mage.
man that's been running around here?
And you're pretty sure that if he could have beaten his chest, he just would have when he said he was a powerful mage.
Well, what about that old man that's around here? What's he all about?
Old man. Oh, the crone that just ran by. Right. Was that you? What did you do to him? He wet himself on the way past here.
Yeah, well,
Never mind. I don't want to know. All I want you to do is get me out of this thing.
well,
thought
can you
that
tell
urine
us which
smelled
way
fresh.
that crone went?
Yeah,
Back in a
he's-
sec.
if you go
He kicked
behind
you
me,
in.
there's a door back there. It doesn't look like much. Pull the third brick, the third brick out. It's a false brick. There's a button behind it. Push it. The wall will spin.
And where does it lead to?
I have no idea. It's not like I can turn.
And do you know this old guy who ran by you?
I only know that he must be an alchemist because I recognize the chemicals in the beakers that he ran by with. The red one blows up. The blue one melts things. If you mix them in the right quantities, you can turn almost anything into almost anything else. The quantities are the hard part.
Like turning people into gold. I mean,
Or turning gold people back into people.
I don't say that because I'm not in his brain.
Right.
Okay, I let the party in on what's going on to this point.
I can't use Reforge on him because he's a living thing, right?
Right. And he's certainly not mundane by any means. No. He goes.
What's to say he's not going to turn us to gold afterwards?
He speaks into your brain, into Jit's brain. He goes, if you're going to help me, I have a piece of information you'll probably want to know if you're going to go and chase the crone into the room.
Oh yeah, you want to tell me now? Because I was thinking of going after him, then come back to help you out.
He darted by here so fast I almost didn't see him. He looks and I don't think he did that with magic. I just think he's really fast. Something to keep in mind.
All right.
Pretty quick. Pretty spry for an old guy.
Yeah.
He does his weights.
Right. Lots of crunches. And what are they?
He never skips
Burpees?
leg day.
Yeah, right.
Like One Punch Man. He does a 1K, a 10K run every day.
I just saw that for the first time recently. That was a real
No
blast.
way.
Yeah, that was
Oh
pretty
my
great
God.
stuff. And emotional growth and reflection in a shonen anime. How about that? I was kind of
Boldness.
stunned. Wow. So, it makes Dragon Ball Z look awfully shallow. You know what I
Oh
mean?
yeah.
Don't get me
Did
wrong.
you watch
Big
season
fan.
2?
Did I watch?
Well,
I have not.
Oh, don't.
Excuse me, do you have a name, Mighty Mage?
Did I not give you his name?
Yeah,
I'm
it was
sorry.
Garland.
Garland.
I
Yes.
thought I
Garland.
did. Right.
Considering that this old guy has the formula that could possibly save you, why don't you give me the information so we can go get him and hopefully figure out how to turn you back into flesh?
That sounds like a fair trade. 6 to 4 red to blue, which is to say
Okay.
6 parts red to 4 parts blue. Any more or less than that, and the explosion will turn you to less than dust.
But you were going to tell me something I should know about the old guy.
Oh, just that he's very fast.
Oh. All right. Well, we'll be back.
Thank you.
All right, guys. You want to go after this speedy old guy?
Did you say it's the third brick from the bottom or third brick from the top?
Third brick from the bottom.
From the bottom.
We have our
I mean,
investigate that.
what is everyone else thinking? Do we want to go after this old guy?
I mean, yeah.
He probably has something to do with Alistair, so
Not
He
only
can
that,
go
he
to
can
this
turn
basement with a bunch
things
of
into gold.
zombies.
I want some
That's
gold.
also true.
What was that about zombies?
I hear you.
Zombies.
I hear kingdoms are run on gold.
Yeah. Usually money talks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, as I recall, we started this story with a village that was all peaceful and happy, and there didn't seem to be like social doctrine or money. And everybody in the group went, "That ain't right," and they turned out to be right.
Work, yeah. There's something fishy going on there.
Like, that's crap. What's wrong with you people?
Well, Listen, if it was okay, we wouldn't be adventuring right now, and we would have had one session and been like, okay, guys.
Right.
It's a very nice village, very pleasant and quaint.
This is a nice place. I think I'll move in.
Friendly folk.
So, is one of you gonna pull the third brick from the bottom up?
Well, I'd say our thief does it, or we just get one of the goblins to do it.
I was going to say I could send my most naked goblin.
Okay.
Most naked goblin.
How do you rate the goblin nakedness? Is there? Never mind. I don't want to know.
The one who wants to get like the closest to me with his stuff out.
Oh.
Are they all male
I'll send
goblins,
him away
or-
from me.
He's,
And he's got he's got 6 goblins. One has a rather icky looking loincloth. Needs a wash.
I do still have a tapestry,
Okay.
which could be used as a loincloth, I suppose.
And a raggedy sword. The other he's got one other one is armed. It's got 2 short sticks lashed together with a bit of metal in the end. And the other 4 are unarmed and completely naked.
Wait, they're completely naked?
Completely naked.
Ugh.
I've also got spare weapons. Haha.
Haha. Goblin minions for the win. Haha.
Yeah,
Are
I've
they all
got a
male
sickle and an
goblins?
iglua.
Look, we don't care about the weapons. Get them some pants.
one
You
of
know,
them
I
can have
hadn't
a
really
tapestry.
considered whether what
Modesty here.
I hadn't really considered what gender they were. Like,
No, there's a lady present, so body parts need to be covered.
yeah, right. So
Are any of them not like? Is there more than one of them not clothed?
4 of them have,
Yeah.
5 of them have
Right.
no clothes.
And how big is this tapestry?
The tapestry you have is large enough. I think I know where you're going with this. If you shredded it up, you could create a
A
pant.
series of loincloth.
Right, not a
Cool.
pant, like not a pantsuit, like not the whole number. But you
No,
could
just a
make
bunch of loincloths.
you could
Like
make
a
ragged. You could do better than that. You could make raggedy shorts for them.
Cool. Okay. Yeah, I just grab with one hand and claw with the rest. Split it up into equal pieces, and they've all got something covering their modesty.
I see. Well, I mean, some of it, right? They have still
Yeah.
goblin nippies, right? But
Yeah,
Enough.
they cover up their goblin unmentionables,
Yeah.
right?
Do goblins care if they're naked or not?
I don't imagine that
The
they
female
do. No.
present cares.
We
Right,
have,
right.
We have lady
IKO
in
cares
group.
a lot, right? But the goblins
have lady
Every
in
themselves.
group.
picture, they're always wearing like armor or something.
But IKO cares even if they don't, right?
All right.
Okay.
In the John Carter story, no one wears clothing. The Martians look down on us because we do, which it seems like there's a much longer list of things to look at humans and go, about, right? Like,
Apparently, back in the day, no one cared about modesty, and they did actually like rock around with nothing on whatsoever.
yeah, that's
Well, at some point they needed clothes because it got cold.
yeah.
Yeah, it was more safe for warmer days where people didn't actually care.
I don't
about
see anybody in New England
or
like
didn't some Greece.
I've met people who are nudists, right? None of them live in New England because that's
Oh
not
yes,
compatible.
they do. They live in Warner.
Really? I haven't met those ones. That's terrible.
Yes,
Like,
you have.
how do you
Yes,
handle
you have.
that? It's cold as
Their
crap.
parents at least, or their
Really?
their kids at least. Yeah, the couple of kids we went to high school with, their parents are nudists.
Oh God!
Oh, you guys went to high school together?
Yeah. It was.
Oh, that's nice.
New Hampshire is it's far too cold for that. That's not acceptable. Anyway, so you've
Live
got
in the woods, New Hampshire.
you've got
Well, we
6.
got a nude beach up here in Halifax.
Huh?
That doesn't exist in the states.
Yeah, that's not a
Yeah,
thing.
we have laws against that.
Right, but we don't go for that. Not that it's. I'm not suggesting it is right or wrong. Just I'm.
You
pretty
guys
sure-
don't even have full nudity in strip clubs, right?
I don't believe so. No,
It
I've
depends
never
on
been
the
to one,
state.
but I
No,
don't.
I've
know.
never been to one either. So
I know New York State
The
does
what?
it.
You
I have
know,
no idea.
a
I've
club
never
where
been.
people take their clothes off for money.
I don't think there's that many strip clubs left anymore. I think the internet's got rid of that business, except for like.
Yeah, I bet you it has.
You know,
When you
there
can go
are
on the
some in
internet
my
for free.
area.
There's
but
definitely a few of them in my town. I occasionally drive by them.
Really?
There's
You
definitely
know,
a
there's
couple
not
in
one strip club in the entire province of Nova Scotia anymore.
Ah,
Really?
Yeah, the entire city of Halifax, 500,000 people,
Not a one.
strip club.
Not a one. Huh.
Yeah.
So here you are with 6
Naked
vaguely
goblins.
clothed gobos, right? a passageway you know how to gain access to, and a cranky, egotistical mage turned into gold. What's the plan?
Do any
Let's,
of my
let's get one of
goblins?
those bricks out of there.
Okay.
Are any of my goblins more problematic than the other? Like the one that I would be happiest to sacrifice as a logical person.
They're all kind of tumbling, and they all want to be on you, and the two with weapons keep fussing and not letting the other 4 up there. But I don't know if one's fussier than the others.
Right. So there's
I
2 with
have an
weapons.
idea.
I've got 2. One of the weaponless ones can go for that brick.
Okay.
I have another idea.
Oh, yeah?
We can turn hand from the zombie and push the button
Yeah,
with the
use the
zombie
zombie.
hand.
You tear off the zombie's goo hand and use that.
Yeah.
How much control do you have over the goo zombie's hand, though?
I mean, once you tear it off, it's like a
Wait,
prop,
what zombie?
right?
Like,
I mean, I suppose as long as I've still got my zombie friends, I don't
Jit,
like. You can have an
Hermes
arm.
punched his owlbear arm through a gooey zombie.
Hermes, give him a hand.
He's
Oh.
wearing-
Oh, and now it's hanging off of him like a handbag in front.
it's sort of like up on his shoulder at this point. How much of this zombie is left, by the way? I know you said that a bit fell off him.
Right. So you're looking at like half-ish of a human, but it's all in the middle. So he's still got his arms and everything. He's just
So he's still got a head, still got arms and torso.
and his legs.
Ish.
He's just very, very thin and goopy.
Right.
It's weird.
Okay.
There's always a bit dropping off of him, but he never seems to run out. You know?
That's really gross.
Wonderful. Wonderful. I can't wait until I go into another tavern like this.
Yeah.
Hermes, that's gonna make you sick.
Yeah, don't get that in your mouth. Like
Hermes is a wild animal. He does not care.
So you wanna give the team a hand? Oh, I can't believe I said that. That pun is terrible.
That pun was amazing. That's why I made it.
So yeah, from the, I suppose if he's here,
You're
this
right.
arm,
Yeah,
which
right.
is facing me, making it his left arm, I'm just gonna grab it at the bicep area, give it a twist and a pull.
Just take off the whole arm. Jesus.
There we go.
And just
Sorry,
reach
have you
on
seen
over
my arm? You can't miss it. It looks like running tar. Oh, that's
Surely my enemy should suffer necrotic damage now.
right, because Jit's the creepy one. Right. Oh.
Hermes is totally innocent, but he's accidentally creepy at this point.
Oh, jeez. I
He
don't
has
know
no
how you just
idea.
manually, with intent, tore the arm off of the
Except
ugly...
for that bit. Voss asked me to.
Just
Well, he was
ask-
asking for it. He was like, I need a hand. And then I was like, well, give him my hand.
Oh, that's terrible.
So
So
I've
tear
got
off
this
his
arm in my
arm.
hand. I hand it to one of the weaponless goblins, so he can use it as an improvised weapon if he survives.
So the goblin, I mean, this human's like 6 feet tall. His arm is 3 feet long. It's as big as the goblin, right? He's kind of like dragging
It's like
what
a great
looks...
sword with fingers.
Yeah, pretty much. And he walks over. He's got it by the gooey bit, well, like whether you tore off the biceps, there's a bunch of meaty, pulpy black goo, and he's grabbing it by the base of it. And he walks over and kind of pokes the brick, right? And the hand reaches out and grabs the brick, and the goblin goes, and there's this sickening, sloppy noise as the brick falls out. And just like the statue said, there's a big red button in there, a depression.
So you press now.
The goblin, without any will of his own at all, does that. He puts the arm down, runs over to where the hands are, where the hand is, straightens out a finger, runs back over, picks up the arm, and shoves it into the button. And there's an electric charge as the arm explodes, and black ucky shit covers the entire hallway, the entire space you're in. Black globules fly by and stick to everything. But the goblin's okay.
Hey!
The goblin does one of these.
He wouldn't have been if we didn't give him that arm, I don't think.
No.
Well done, boss.
I keep off my face because I don't like to be dirty.
The goblin gives you 2 thumbs up, right? And runs back over.
Like,
And runs back over. when the lightning settles down and the arms just toast is an appropriate word. The wall does start to swing and gets locked about halfway, so it kind of kicks back and forth like a record player that doesn't know what to do next. It kind of kibbies.
Coolio. So we have a doorway.
Mm-hmm.
I go through it.
Okay. You walk through there and you see that old man, right? The old crone of a man curled up on top of what looks like a giant throne. It's got to be 8 feet high, except it's made out of cobwebs. He's just sitting in this big nest of webs, and his hands are resting on 2 spiders that are the size of a house cat. But you're pretty sure he can see you. Like his eyes are looking at you, but he doesn't react.
Hermes sits on the floor, beckons some goblins over, and does the same, and looks at him like in a competitive way.
Mine's
Like, yeah.
better, right?
I'm going to cast a spell on him.
Oh boy.
I'm going
That's
to
not
try to
very
put him
polite.
to sleep.
You're gonna what?
Try to put him to sleep.
Okay. That's a leveled spell, isn't it?
Yep.
Don't
I'm
don't.
staying back.
I'm not warning anyone because I want to do this before that old guy reacts and teleports or something.
Okay.
So I'm just going straight for the cast.
Okay.
If you blow us up, I'm going to be very cross.
Any motion
What's my
with that you could
proficiency
notice.
bonus at level 4?
Proficiency bonus is, I want to say +2, but let me double check.
Can I? Well, I can't because he doesn't give us any indication that he's.
He
doing
does
it.
not. No, level 4, it's +2.
All right, well, I got a 12.
Nice. Just
Where is it in relation to us?
So, how many of us have gone through the door? That would be
as many of you wanted to. Didn't anybody want to deliberately
I
stay
was
back?
right behind
feel like-
Jason.
I
Okay.
feel like
I
had,
haven't
like,
gone through the door yet.
I had a
I'm
thrown
sticking with
measuring
Hermes, so
contest.
I'm in the room.
Okay.
I had a thrown measuring contest with him, so like it's too late for me not to be in the room.
A throne measuring contest. Okay.
All right, I'll be like at the door still.
So you reach out and you slap him with your sleep spell. That spell has limitations for the hit dice mechanic. And he snaps to it. He stands up erect on the spidery throne and snaps his fingers, and the 2 spiders zip past you on the ceiling, strands coming out of the thoraxes. They're like spiders on zip lines. And he kind of digs this big toothy smile. He's missing a bunch of teeth. The ones he has are yellowed from age and mistreatment. And he laughs at you for your scandalous attempt. Jason, you're up first. What do you do?
I say spiders, not butterflies, and I'll shoot with my warbow.
Okay, the spiders or him?
That escalated quickly.
Yes, it did.
Spider.
Okay, you're gonna peg a spider. You bet.
13.
Nice. Roll for damage.
13 damage. 9.
Nice. So an arrow fluces from the bow, plunges into the belly of one of these things, and it spins through the air. Webs spill out of it all over the place. Who's in the room right now? The room is only about 10 feet square. You don't have a lot of playing space in here.
Oh, well then I guess I'm right behind Hermes. Maybe I'm in the doorway?
Okay.
I
Thanks.
didn't realize the room was so small.
Did anyone choose to not go in other than Ikael?
I'm right outside the door,
Okay.
right behind Voss.
Everybody else is inside?
Yeah. I
Okay.
think.
You're in a pretty cramped space. You're all kind of next to each other. Not like standing room only, but it's pretty close. Everyone except Ikael should make a dex save to avoid the webs as they spill out of this thing from the sky.
Okay.
Can I cast Divine Vigor to give them a +1? All of them a +1?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, pull out Divine Vigor out of the book.
I mean, I just got a 12.
I just got
Allies
an
that hear
18.
you. Yep. You have to cast to make sure you don't screw that up. But
Okay, let me do that first. Just a D20 plus.
your wisdom modifier, and you have to beat a 12 because that's a second level spell.
That didn't work. I got a 4.
So that was a dex save?
That was a dex save.
I got an
Yeah,
18.
I got a 7. I'm stuck.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, me too.
IKL, roll a d20 because you screwed up the roll. So now you have a magical mishap.
I rolled a 7. I'll be right back.
Ouch. Okay.
At a 17.
Ooh, okay. You should make a strength check right now as exhaustion ripples out of your body from an attempted
The
but
D20,
failed
another
spell.
D20.
Right. Add your strength mod to it if you have one.
Yep. 17 with the strength mod.
Nice. So you shake it off and you're okay. If you had failed that roll, you would spend a turn going. So who failed the deck save?
I rolled a 6.
Good deck
plus
save,
5.
Bill, don't
I
I?
assume the save was 11.
Yes,
I failed
always.
deck save.
Okay.
Cool.
Artie,
I got a 12.
Jason, you passed?
Failed. 10.
Okay. Hermes, you what did you get? I'm sorry.
12.
12. You pass. Artie, and what did you get?
11.
Okay. So
We're all stuck.
right.
No,
That's not
I
sort of
got an 18.
right. Hermes and Adarian pass. The webs fall on the rest of you, but Hermes manages to kind of duck out of the way and slash the web at the last second with his overgrown owlbear talons. And Adarian pulls a fast one, right? And just kind of does a kind of showy just sidestep, but he looks very impressive as he does so. As the web.
As all of this happens, I say, "How did you guys not get stuck? I'm behind you."
Their webs.
And I'm behind him.
I assume my deck save also counts for my goblin buddies.
Yes, they function as you do, right?
Cool. That's great.
So the free members here are Hermes, his 6 goblins, and IKL. Hermes,
And
you want to go
Adarian.
first?
I would love
And
to.
Adarian, right.
I have an idea.
Okay.
So I've heard of goblins mounting spiders.
Okay.
Can I throw one at a spider?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, strength check, dex check.
Sure.
What
Yeah,
what
whichever you
calling?
like better.
Last
They're both
spell special.
The exact same.
Which one did you use?
They're both +2.
Right, but
I used-
for story, I need to know which one you used.
let's go with strength because
Okay.
I'm an owl bear.
Okay.
That's a 14 +2, 16.
Nice. So you pick up a goblin and you bean him at a spider, right? The one that was that a Darian that pegged him? No, that was Jason that pegged him, right?
I thought that one died.
Oh no, it took 9 damage. It's alive. Web
okay.
spills out of it. It's still kind of spinning through the air like a pinata.
Okay.
But it's alive. It's not in
Kinda
great
one-
shape, but it's alive. You
Right.
hurl the goblin through the air, right? It like in a very impressive show for goblin skill. As it gets near the spider, it figures out why you did that. It reaches out, it grabs it by its big fat neck, spins around on top of it as it on top of the spider. Know what he wanted to do.
They're
The
good
other
already.
5 goblins are like this. They're completely stunned.
You're next.
Yeah.
So what? Does my goblin have control over the spider now?
No, but you can have him try and wrestle control of it if you like.
I would like to be able to do that.
Sure. Make an intelligence save for him.
Intelligence save. Is that a 1 or a 2? That's a 1. 11.
Nice. So the goblin manages to wrestle control over the spider. He stops spinning, and the spider kind of nestles in place in the air. And you're pretty sure that you're looking at the goblin. He's struggling. He's trying to essentially prove dominance over this thing. And it is much bigger than he. It's not bigger than he is per se, but it's more intimidating than he is. They'll be stuck like that until somebody wins.
Okay.
Your other 5 goblins are completely stunned. As to make sure that other people get turns, feel free to give them a group order.
Sorry, a group order.
A group order. Stay here, attack, that sort of thing.
All right. So like, I'm basically my group of goblins is one thing for the sake of initiative.
Right.
Got you.
They get a +1 to the roll for each one of them that is still alive and working as a team.
Okay. Cool. So if there's 5 of them, they get a +5
Right.
on an attack roll.
Right. Or to do
Okay.
whatever it is that they're doing.
I feel like we need to get the weaker entities out the way so we're not all taking a barrage of attacks.
Okay.
So I'll send them into the other spider for a good kill shot, I suppose.
You're gonna huck them at it, or
I mean, they can run at it. I'm sure that it's only a 10-foot room. They'll
Right,
run
right.
at it.
okay.
I only launched the one guy at him so he could get on top, but these
Right.
guys are
So
just attacking.
roll your
so-
attack roll to see if they hit this thing.
Okay, is it my attack roll?
Yes.
So that's a 15 I rolled on the dice.
Nice. Roll for damage.
Um,
Oh, I
Is it
should tell you what
like
that
rate?
is, huh? That's a D6.
they're rolling a d6, right?
Right.
Okay, let me get a d6 because I've had nothing but a d20 and a d12 up until now. That's a 3. Do I add my relevant modifier to that? Strength?
No,
Dex?
you add 1 point for each of them.
Oh, so 5.
Yes.
6?
You
There's
got a
5 of
3
them in the
initially.
one group.
So right, so you're down 1. So it's 5 plus the 3 gets you up to 8 damage.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so the goblins kind of scurry. The spider's in the air, right? But it's hanging off off its web. The goblins scurry up each other to make this really awkward Tower of Gabo, right? And they're now high enough that they can reach this thing. And the last one kind of swings at its underbelly and catches blood and drags it down to the others, and they kind of tear it apart as it gets to the bottom. And now they kind of pass it down, and the spider's on the ground with damaged legs and a broken face, and it's 8 eyes. Only 2 of them are still okay, but it is still alive, but just barely.
Okay.
I'm very impressed.
Right. I mean, from a spider's point of view, it just got its butt kicked by the cheerleading goblin squad, so it's very disappointed in itself, right? Jit, what are you? Oh, that's right. You already tried your magic spell. RTN, what are you doing?
I'm a little confused how it got here in the first place because I was away. But
Okay.
I guess I'm fighting spiders, so
You guys are in a 10 by 10
So
room.
who's incapacitated by the spiders? Who had the webs on them or whatever?
Oh, that's right. You're all stuck in webs. That's right.
We're all fucking webs, yeah.
I almost
so
forgot
I
about
was
that.
Except for
while
Ikael.
Hermes is having his little goblins do their thing, I was gonna take my dagger out and cut away the webs on everybody.
Okay. Yeah, the webs are pretty thick. You'll only be able to save 1 person around. Who want to go for first?
I'll go for Voss because he's closest.
Okay. So you spend your turn cutting him free. Artian, did you make that deck save, right?
I got 11.
Okay.
If she spends her turn cutting me free, who's the nearest person to me that I can cut free?
that would be Artian.
I cut Artian free.
Okay. Artian,
So he can do whatever he wants on his turn.
Right. Do you want to cut somebody loose, or do you want to do something else? You're in a 10 by 10 room with 2 spiders, neither of which are in great shape. One is in the air, and a goblin is riding it. The other one is on the ground in front of you, a couple of feet out, in front of a stack of goblins. They're all standing on top of each other. And at the very far edge of the room, there is the old crone you saw before, except he's sitting on a giant throne made of webs. His hair almost touches the ceiling.
So the spiders are busy right now. I would
Pretty
assume.
much, yes. One
Okay.
is the one in front of the goblin tower is definitely dying. It's definitely on its last leg. The one in the air is wrapped in a battle of wills with a goblin, which is not something I ever thought I'd say.
You guys leave the one with the goblins until my next turn. I can probably condemn it, right?
Just snuff him out, right? Like wet fingers on a candle.
So who's closest to me then?
That would be Adarian.
All right, I cut him free.
Okay.
Try to cut him free.
I was already free.
Oh, sorry, I said the wrong name. That would be Jit. You can cut Jit free.
All right, I
Okay.
cut whoever's closest to me.
Okay. I think that's everybody free. Jit, what do you want to do?
No, not everybody.
Pardon, Jason, what?
Not everybody.
Oh, that's right. You're still stuck, aren't you? Jit, you have options here. Ikael's not stuck. She's behind you, and she's been cutting people free. Jason is in front of you, webbed to the spot, and there's two spiders. Both are incapacitated, for different reasons, and the man on the giant webbed throne.
Well, I'm really worried about losing this wizard again.
That makes sense.
So we'd forgive you if you left us to cut each other free.
Well, there's only Jason left, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
So
I can
think
forgive
Only
you.
Jason, right?
So I mean, someone can get to him.
Yeah, I guess we better leave Jet to make this guy unescapable.
Yeah.
He has more spells than I do.
What spell do you use?
But I can cast Providence on whatever you do.
Where you already took your turn, right? So you can't do that right now.
No, I can't.
No.
Or can't.
Okay.
Okay.
Is Providence a quick action?
It's a cantrip.
Right. But is it a quick action?
I don't
Checking
know.
right now. We got it in front of me. Hold on.
Yes, it says quick.
Providence. Yeah, you can do that kind of as a reaction, quick action. They're basically the same thing. So yeah, I don't see how come you can't do that on somebody else's turn.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I mean, I could. I don't want to kill him because I want to question him.
Okay.
So.
You have some sort of web spell of your own.
No, I don't. I have a sleep. I could swarm him, but he'll take damage, but it might throw him off from concentrating to teleport. I'm gonna try to put him asleep again.
Okay. I don't want you to waste that roll. You're pretty sure that won't work.
Okay.
He has more than 2 hit dice.
All right.
Or did I read that wrong? I may have read that wrong. Hold on. Sleep spell, that's an arcane spell. Yeah, it's 2 hit dice per level. My apologies, I read that wrong. It will work if you pull it off.
All right. How far up is he in the air on the throne?
He's on the throne. He is sitting. He's just sitting on that many webs. But he's probably 8 feet off the ground.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna go for the sleep spell.
Okay.
Again, no warning because this is all about speed, right?
Right.
Yama.
Tyrion cuts me free and my arms go right away to cast the
Snap!
spell again.
Right.
And right there.
Gonna be a 20.
Nice. Nice. So that
Yeah.
combined with your magic ring, you're looking at quadruple effect. Which
Going
is
to bed.
bugger nuts, right? Because he's going to sleep. That's what's 8 times 4? 32? No, that's
Yeah.
wrong.
32, yeah.
That's right.
32.
32? Yeah, 32.
So you kind of will it to be so, right? Boof. And
8 times 4 is 99.
4 is 30.
Your will reaches across the space, and in your mind's eye, you loom over him with like this big bloody mallet, and he's asleep, and he just kind of crumples on top of the webs.
All right. Well, that's that taken care of.
Yes, nice.
Let's cut Jason loose.
Well, who's
I
next?
cut it myself.
Right.
Okay.
He does have the time, right? So he cuts himself free. Now what?
Are the spiders alive?
So
The other spiders are technically still alive, right? The one the goblin is wrestling with in the air is mostly mentally damaged because it's losing to a goblin. The goblin losing a battle of wills with a goblin. I mean, that's kind of pathetic. The other
is kind of
spider is
pathetic.
on the ground, very damaged, in front of the stack of goblins.
The single
Oh.
goblin who's wrestling is intending to mount this spider. So if you gotta kill one, kill the dead one.
I was going to condemn the dead one. That was my turn.
Jason, what do you want to do?
I'll just look at the circus.
Look at this. Right.
And Hermes is the ringleader.
Well, you gotta get little jester outfits for the 6 of them. Right.
I need a whip.
Yeah.
And a
Jump
big.
through the hoop. Go.
Okay.
It's a little circus-like, I do have to say.
Okay, do you want to finish off that spider?
Sure. I will cast Condemn to finish off the one
Sure.
that
Make sure you don't roll under an 11.
I will do my best.
Yeah, please.
I
Okay,
got a
make sure-
12
Nice.
without any
Modifiers, right.
modifiers.
So
So
you
roll
reach in there
12.
and you reach into the spider's brain and you hear it twitching and crying out for aid and you just kind of The remaining spider, the goblin, finally wins, right? And he lowers to the ground and he looks incredibly pleased with himself. He's got a smile that goes all the way to his ears. You can see every last tooth. He's very pleased with himself. The spider has stopped clicking and cranking about it. And every time it starts again, he kind of whacks it in the back of the head. Goblin training, right? Whack! Like, once the goblin gets control over the spider, it's pretty clear now that the goblin is in control. You hear a rumble, and the giant webbed throne, the front of it splits like a big white curtain, and what looks like way too many eyes and teeth shoot through the air at your direction, like little teeth wrapped in little eyeballs wrapped in crowns of teeth fly through the air like bullets. I will see you guys next week.
Ooh.
Oh, wait. Are they shooting towards all of us?
Yes.
Are they like? They look
Except
like
Ikael, I
separate
guess.
things.
No, Ikael's in the space now because she came in to save your
Yeah,
butt.
she came
so,
in to free
Where are
people.
these
I'm
coming
inside
from?
the door, at
The
least, 'cause
throne area?
so the old crone is on
I'm standing in the doorway.
the old crone is on top of the webbing. He's asleep. The front of the throne has kind of burst open like a curtain, and lots of little look like little red eyeballs wrapped in like circles of teeth that are all pointing towards you fire out of it like machine gun rounds.
Oh, nice.
How close to something to condemn it? Do I actually have to touch it?
I don't think you have to touch it. Let me check.
But then I'm still behind Voss in the doorway.
Okay, let me check. Condemn. Nope, it only has to be able to hear you. Right.
No,
Yeah,
you're
then why would I
cutting-
move?
cutting people up. Cutting people out of cobwebs, right?
Right.
Well, I only helped Voss, and
Right,
Voss
who
waiting
is
inside the
right, who
doorway.
is
Voss was hiding behind
So
me.
Ikael is safer than the
yes.
rest of you. Yeah. So you've got eyeball bullets, which is not something I ever thought I'd say, and I will see you guys next week.
Oh.
All right.
Deck
Jesus
save.
Christ.
Thanks for the